still hear your voice on the midnight breeze, like a whisper carried through the autumn trees. Sebastian Wayne Drake, my pride, my boy, my firstborn child, my heart, my joy.
It's been 8 long months since you've been gone, and I'm still out here holding on.
I bow my head and I pray each night, Lord, bring him home, show me a light. Oh Lord, if you're listening, please guide him to me. Wherever he's lost, set his soul free.
I'll wait by the porch, 'neath the moon and the pine, till the day I see his hand in mine.
Even in heartache, my love will remain forever and always, through joy and pain.
The seasons change, but my heart stands still. This house is quiet, but I love him still. I look down the road and call out his name. God help me hold on through this lonesome pain.
If you can hear me, I need your grace. Help me find my boy, show me the way. I'll carry this love through the wind and rain.
Lord, help me believe
We'll meet again. Oh Lord, if you're listening, please guide him to me. Wherever he's lost, set his soul free.
I'll wait by the porch, 'neath the moon and the pine, till the day I see his hand in mine.
Even in heartache, my love will remain forever and always, through joy and pain. If the stars could carry my words tonight,
They tell him I love him and hold on tight.
Sebastian Wayne Drake, my sweet little son, I'll search till I find you. Our journey's not done. Oh Lord, if you're listening, please guide him to me. Wherever he's lost, set his soul free.
I'll wait by the porch, 'neath the moon and the pine, till the day I see his hand in mine.
Even in heartache, my love will remain forever and always, through joy and pain.
Clicking. I'm not even. My computer is possessed tonight. Okay, let's see if I can get Bo's green hearts. And thank you guys for the green hearts. That is such a beautiful song that Seth wrote, and I can't help it, but it just always makes me tear up thinking about just what had to go through, And we're gonna go over some of the questions that he answered on his live stream, and I'm always so grateful for the parents that come out, and then we can talk about what's going on, and what welcome in everyone, welcome in. So oddly enough, Juliana Nazita, her parents have now decided to come up against the police officers who ruled her death as a suicide, right? We can't say the actual word. But I don't believe that. And she is the teenager that was found hanging from a tree. Um, but in a very awkward, not really hanging from a tree situation. It was completely horrific. Her body looked like it was posed, in my opinion, and her family is saying, not so fast. We want answers. They ruled it really, really quickly as well. That was in South Carolina. So, Charlotte, South Carolina. Just a quick update on that. I'd like to do a live on Juliana Zeta again. So we'll do that, and also some updates in Javea Harris's case, because those are two cases that we've covered, and I want to do a live on that. Still have to do a part two for summer. Now, there wasn't a whole lot in the part two, but they did warm up a little bit to Mr. and Mrs. McCoy, Fred and Sheila. So hopefully, they can search for answers, put a fresh set of eyes on the case. That's what I'm hoping for there. And hello, Witchy Mama. I don't know why it's not letting me put any of these up on the screen, but of course, we do have um, some content that we're going to share of Seth's tonight. Definitely go over and check out his whole entire live. But we're going to review all of it, of course. So, um, and Witchy Mama is here. And thank you so much, Witchy Mama, too, for putting up the child abuse hotline. Guys, is the big one tonight, because we know that Sebastian Rogers, and I lost my shit in the last live because I'm horrified. I am horrified by what I know, and I know that I don't know the half of it, and that's what scares me. So, Witchy Mama, 170 languages, 1-800-422-4453. You can report abuse there. You can ask if you think it might be, and they'll tell you whether it is or not, right? 24/7. Also, counseling. If you're a teenager going through this, they can give you some tips and you'll have someone to talk to. It is very dangerous when people report these abusers, and it's very sad. And I hate that for Sebastian. It is awful. And I've even been processing it over the last couple days, right? Absolute trigger warning. So I was completely zonked out. Sorry I wasn't with you guys last night, but I wanted to be. But I was just like, you know what? I got to go to sleep because I could barely hold my eyes open, and I was ready. Um, and thank you, Witchy Mama. It's definite trigger warnings. It's definite 18 and over. Um, I don't know. It's just so sad. And guys, definitely pass out Summer and Devlin's and Michael Monkey Vaughn's flyers. Miss Ann, just know that our prayers are with you, and I appreciate you being here very much. And I hope that you know that you have a bunch of friends here that care for you, and we're praying for you because we know what you went through is not an easy thing. So, um, and Jilly, so good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. And Gail is here. Hey, Gail, and little Miss Sharon. And thank you guys so much for hitting the like button. That is so awesome, and it gets me into the algorithm. And Bo is here. Hey, Bo, good to see you. And let's see here. Who else do I have in the chat? I don't want to miss anyone. Hey, Cinderella, good to see you. Guys, Jen did an awesome live last night, and she always does a great job. So, um, Rodney is here. Good to see you, Rod. Good to see you, and thank you for being here. And I'm sorry I can't pop your guys' comments up because it's being so crazy tonight. Maybe I was just clicking them too fast. I'm like, light the chat up green. And then I was clicking. Let's see if Jen's pops up that time. Okay, so I think it's because I stopped clicking like mad. Hey, Real Sisters in Crime. Guys, go and sub up to Real Sisters in Crime. Our friend Trishy and her sisters have a true crime channel. And definitely go check it out, right? Because we need good creators, right? That are just interested in the cases, breaking them down, talking about them. So we need more of that than the crama drama on these streets, right? So, oh my gosh, it's such a beautiful song, guys. It's powerful. It is lovely. And that was about the 8 month mark that Seth had. We love you too, Jen. That Seth had wrote that for Sebastian, and it just so beautiful. Hey, Tony. So, and welcome in. Hey, Janet. Good morning, Janet. All right. What color are you dyeing your hair, Jilly? I want to know. Hey, also we have Shauna. Shauna. Hey, Shauna. So good to see you guys. Hey, Brenda Calvert. So we're gonna go over this. It's gonna be random or it's gonna be weird because I'm up there with who we're reviewing. So, but I'll try not to talk too much. I'll try not to talk too much in between because I'm already putting my 2 cents in, right? Um, Oh, and I wanted to say too to the mob crew, to Chris, I want to say thank you for and you're very welcome. He said thank you for being up there to all of us on the panel because he did a review, and also I was referring to the um, Pharaoh technology, like the one that we saw on day 5 when they were like looking over at the common area. So I was totally with you on that question because like why would they be pointing it over there, and there's the big ditch and everything, and it's like they were trying to recreate what happened with the lights like low key, but then everybody realized what that camera actually is, and so so I remember that being like a huge deal, and yes, but Seth thought I was talking about the heat seeking stuff that Sonny Weatherford. I keep spacing on people's names. That Sheriff Sonny Weatherford, he's the late great Sonny Weatherford because he is not with us anymore. So, there was a recording of him talking to Seth's PIs in the beginning when they first came on. They started talking to everyone, and we heard the recording, and he kind of sounded like he was like ready to retire and let the young guys take over, which, I'm not going to say that's a bad thing. I mean, obviously he was about to retire, so he's letting them do their thing and he's overseeing them. I think that's a good idea if you're going to get people ready to just completely take over for you, right? So but he wasn't really like in the know as much. It seemed like he let them take over. So um, that's why we have the lawsuit against Sumner County Sheriff's Office, and then Eric Craddock and Michael Brandon Carter, right? And they're named in the lawsuit, as well as some does, John and Janes, that will come into play later on as they become known, right? As there's more discovery and things like that. So that's the best of my understanding. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no shade at all. I mean, what such a loss, and that would be so sad, right before your retirement to, not be here anymore. So, yeah, Mob Crew. It was very good. It was very good. Review and everything, and then also there was a couple of things in there, but I want to talk about that maybe in another episode because he dropped some bombs because he talks to people in the neighborhood, or he has. I don't know who all or anything, but um, you know, it's interesting what the neighbors have to say. And that's why I'm so interested in the neighbors. Like what all did they get on their cameras? Because there's cameras all over the neighborhood, and obviously, to the best of our knowledge, we've never heard of Sebastian being on any of the cameras. And I found that to be interesting, um, to say the least. I mean, no evidence is evidence. In and of itself. And then they're looking, Seth did mention the inside. So going back to Mob Crew's question, uh, he, Seth was saying that they were using the heat seeking technology and things to find out if they had hidden spots in their house. Because look, it seems like they don't know how Sebastian got out of the house. But my big question too with the trash also being taken out and us not knowing exactly who did that. Um, I wish they would let us fight it out, duke it out. Like I wish they would just let us see the footage and we could all duke it out between ourselves. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. I think it is because of this. Blah, blah, blah. What could it hurt really now? Unless there was some indication that that wasn't Sebastian that took out the trash. But I don't think so because Seth saw it. So just questions, and then poor Seth answers questions, and we have more questions from those answered questions, right? Then that opens up some more questions. Um, but yeah, I appreciate everybody coming together and you know for Sebastian's sake, because oh, here we go. We got Jen up here. Okay. Um, Seth was having some technical issues in the beginning. He needs to get a new computer, by the way. We got to get him. Um, and I always put his Cash Apps and PayPals, but they're on his channel too. Definitely go over there and watch what Seth has to say about his son. Look, we don't know Chris or Katie. Seth does. We don't know Sebastian, and Seth does. So he's a very good resource for us to listen to, even though I know a lot of us want to question Chris and Katie because we think that they know where Sebastian is, right? But Seth is a very good person to get information from, and he just has to be careful, right? Because there's pending litigation, but also there's just some things that he probably doesn't want to discuss publicly, and I completely understand that. um the trash comment was brought up by Peter Hyatt. Yes, as a red flag. Well, if somebody can't tell that it's him, Trishy, like that's what I'm saying. Like if his own dad and the neighbors who have no dog in the fight, I mean, what dog do they have in the fight? Unless they were involved and helped Katie. I mean, well, then maybe they would be crazy, about it. Um, so what are we talking? What are we going to talk about? I think is what your question is, Sammy. We're just going to go over Seth's live tonight because he answered a lot of questions, and um, I wanna talk a little bit about some of it. Oh, oh, Tony. Sorry. Okay. So it was blurry. He'll mention it in here, Tony, too. He said it was like grainy and blurry, and that's what he was saying when he was on Pascal. But since the police were like, "Yeah, it's Sebastian," then he was like, "Okay, well, yeah, it has to be right because the police are telling me." And so in the beginning, excuse me, he was taking like what law enforcement said. Seriously, and for what they were telling him, right? And I mean, I would too, until I didn't feel comfortable or if I ever felt like I couldn't trust them. But there was a couple betrayals, like when you think about how the police were saying that it was a trash truck in the neighborhood, and then we were all like, it couldn't be a trash truck. The light sources are moving independently. So if the light sources are moving independently, they can't be headlights because headlights move in tandem, right? Or simultaneously, ride together. They're not going to deviate off, right? Unless you are me and you hit a deer in your Saturn that had retractable lights and then you had to put it on there. because you couldn't afford to fix it. Then you have a Batman light going one way, you have another light going straight where it's supposed to because that one didn't get damaged, right? But that's the only time that I'll believe that. Uh, you know, so I believe what Chris from the mob crew worked on, and I do believe that the footage that he was able to overlay, and then also Pincho Paxton did like a daytime recreation. I don't know what they call it because it's like, really computer savvy people know how to do those like models, those 3D models and stuff. But I've never tried to do anything like that. I think it's really cool though. And it was able, we were able to see that there were lights and stuff like that. Now I didn't agree with Pincho's theory that, there was some sort of an accident, especially now that I've been to the ditch part. That ditch is pretty, like, some of it's kind of deeper than the other spots, or it was when I was there. I don't know. Hey, Babs, good to see ya. Aw, thank you, Witchy Mama. Brenda says, I've always thought Craddock double talked first. There's no evidence to support foul play. Then I have some stuff, which is at Sheriff. He did come out and say that they have some stuff that they just simply can't share with us because they don't want to mess with the investigation, the integrity of the investigation. And I do remember him saying that, Brenda. You're absolutely right. Um, it is, which is it, right? I mean, and I'm not going to say he's not barefoot. He's never told us whether Sebastian is barefoot or not. I mean, it just goes to show that he really doesn't know. But I also feel like they were just covering their own asses because they knew about everything that DCS was at the house for, and they knew that Sebastian was having, horrible times and dealing with things, and they still closed it out. And then, I'm still tripping over the fact that they have a 3-2-1 system, because I would think one would be the least severe and up to three, but no, no, no. When they called it a priority three for Sebastian, they minimized it to a number three, a priority three. Like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, to me, that would be like if the kids were wrestling and the little boy had a bruise that was visible. The teacher was like, oh my gosh, that's really bad bruise. Or like somebody got hurt roughhousing. They go to the house. They're like, oh yeah, they were roughhousing. Or, he likes to climb up trees and he fell out. I mean, that's sometimes they make those stories up anyway. That's what comes along with the abuse, is like a lot of lying and covering it up, right? Because you're not supposed to talk about it. And that's what Katie and Chris have, their motto is don't talk about it, right? Just don't even talk about it, because if you do, you're going to get in worse trouble. We're going to bust that ass even worse. And, I'm sorry, but no, nobody's going to, make me believe anything different now that I've seen, some of the quotations in the lawsuits from the DCS workers. I'm going to believe them over Chris Proudfoot or anybody, right? I mean, even though I don't agree with what they've done here, I don't know why they did that. And they didn't seem to like Chris Proudfoot. They were calling him, Proudfoot. They were kind of like just being like, yeah, well, Proudfoot, but they were calling Katie. So you can kind of tell that the lady probably didn't like him. And, especially if he comes up, oh, it's you again. Oh, coming to her all smug like he does. I mean, I don't know how anybody can stand to be around Chris Proudfoot and not want to smack him silly, but, that's just my opinion. The Real Sisters in Crime says, Sammy G, Lady Freedom was just bringing up the fact that we need to all see this supposed video. Yeah, or someone taking out the trash, decide for ourselves. Yeah, we could let us decide and just be like, I mean, there's going to be people that are going to be like, no, that's him. Some people are going to be like, it's Katie, and let us hash it out in the public. I mean, I'd like to see, because here's the thing, I feel like it would be a major shift or clue in the case, right? Whether he did or didn't take the trash out, because for one, why would Katie lie and say that he took the trash out? And then, on top of that, we have Chris Proudfoot telling Smiley that, and bragging about the fact that everybody needs to treat their kids like this too, by the way. He was giving parenting advice while he has a missing child. And he was saying that everybody should go in their child's room and take all of their things out of their room, bag it up, and make them take it to the end of the curb. And then come to find out, Sebastian's chore was to take the trash out. Can you imagine the psychological mind fuck? Sorry, Fukushima, that must occur when a child has to bag up all of their own belongings and put them in the trash can and then take them to the end of the curb whenever trash day is, which for them it's Sunday, right? They get it picked up on Monday, so it has to be at the end of the curb on Sunday. So if Sebastian gets in trouble on a Tuesday, he's got to wait all the way to the end of the week and then walk his things down to the curb. For what, Chris? Not wearing a belt? And also, don't forget that Chris Proudfoot likes to push Sebastian up against walls when he misbehaves, right? Which apparently, according to Sebastian, he would feel bad about lying about brushing his teeth. So, he got in trouble for that. Or making his bed, not making his bed, right? Horrible. Trash truck don't drive through people's backyards. Boom, Babs, that's another huge one. And how is Seth supposed to feel about that? Hey, Shadow. How's Seth supposed to feel about that? The garbage truck has a flashing light on top. It's not a garbage truck. I believe the 3 a.m. vehicle is involved. Yeah, I think so too, Rod. I do. I think the it's just the activity in the neighborhood. And my theory is I just don't think they would, unless it was like something major, I don't think that they would have to have, I guess, how am I trying to say this? So it's like, I don't think they would risk it or chance it to do something at the house that night when they had been out all day and could have done something then, unless it was Sebastian being taken out that night, right? Because what would be so important that they would risk activity in the neighborhood for, is what I'm trying to say. I hope I said that with, I hope that made sense. So, yeah, the garbage truck didn't even come till 5:09 a.m. Exactly, Rod. Exactly. Sebastian told anyone who would hear him about the abuse, anyone in authority. Well, see, and that's the thing that pisses me off so bad, Babs, is because he told, and he was so brave to tell. Like, nobody wants to go to school and tell people that your parents are being abusive towards you. You went through something horrible when you were little, and now it's bothering you really bad. And, it's just, of course, Sebastian didn't. And he told the second time the caseworker came to the school, he was telling them, or excuse me, I think it was the first time, that he didn't want to talk about it at school. It's so sad. I hate this for him because it makes me so sad for him. He's super brave. It is so, so brave to, I mean, yeah, well, he was brave back then too, Jilly. He was so brave to come forward. It takes a lot of guts. It does, because you don't know what kind of can of worms you're working with. You don't know who you're telling. I mean, your teacher that you care about, you might tell that person, but they're going to tell somebody else, and now you got to deal with that person, and that person now knows your business. And in that case, it's very tough when you've had to go through something like that to tell. And that's why they have the Child Advocacy Center, right? Ashley's Place. And he obviously, they were aware of that situation. Now, whether Sebastian went there and got services, I don't know, because again, they put him at a priority 3. So did he get all of the services, and did they follow all the protocols with him? Or did they just, piss the whole thing off? I mean, it's infuriating to me, Mm-hmm. Yeah, funny how they drove around Chris Proudfoot and he's sitting there bragging about it, and it's like, dude, they're trying to gauge your reactions to certain things. This is not like a ride along, okay? Gosh, he's such a punk bitch. This the second time of the encounter with the same stepfather regarding abuse should have been huge red flag. And I think it was, but it was too late. Exactly, Babs. Yeah. I mean, look, Sebastian was reporting that twice, right? He reported it the first time that he was having such trouble with it, but he was scared. And we don't know what Chris was saying to him. He could have been calling him, homophobic phrases or slurs at him because of the abuse that he suffered, right? Because he's like, I'm afraid if my stepfather finds out what I've told my mother, then I'm going to be in deep shit, right? With him, he's gonna hurt me. He said, I think he's gonna hurt me, to the lady, to the social worker. So why didn't she do more? Like, and then the CPIT team is involved. I mean, this is completely intertwined. And don't forget, the assistant district attorney, Jenny Smith, was involved in these hearings in juvenile court. I mean, we have got to do better. We have got to do better. And it's not fair for Sebastian to have to, be missing. And then here we are, having to learn what kind of horrible things he was going through. If he didn't want to talk about it at school, he probably doesn't want a whole bunch of people speculating on it. But here's the deal. It is so sad that he even had to go through that. And now his father has to go through this on his behalf because he was wronged. I mean, his constitutional rights were trampled on. Everything that he tried to tell these teachers backfired on him so badly because of the shitty ass way that DCS and CPS handles this shit. Pick an acronym. They all suck. And something needs to be done about that. They have the power to take kids out of the home, and they didn't do it with Sebastian. Why not? When he has a father that he's saying, I love him and I trust my father and everything's good over there. Hey, Shadow. It's just absolutely nuts, It's crazy. So the dog's just, Witchy. I reported things to a counselor at middle school, and all that happened was I was gossiped about to all the other teachers, and there was no assistance. Oh my gosh, Babs, I'm so sorry. See, that's what I mean. It's like, that's why it's so brave, because you don't know what's going to happen next, and especially living with Proudfoot. Like, what's going to happen next, right? That's so disgusting that they did that to you. I'm so sorry. What is happening here? Yes, exactly, Rod. We are Sebastian's voice. And, I love that Seth does these lives because it keeps Sebastian's name out there, and it helps tremendously, with us going out there and remembering to pass out the flyers. And I pinned the flyer because Seth had it pinned, and I was like, oh, that's a good idea. So I'll start doing that now. Whenever we have a live that we're talking about missing children. And the CPIT team usually dropped the ball as well. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. They did. They were all in on it. And look at Ray Whitley. Look at the former district attorney, Ray Whitley, who has underneath him Jenny Smith. And he retires and she moves to a new district, right? She's still operating as an assistant district attorney. She was sworn into the 38th district, I believe it was. I might be wrong on what particular district, but it's not Sumner County. And let me tell you, she had a tenure in Sumner County. So why would she just up and leave? Why would she have to go someplace else? I mean, if she had a big life event, maybe it's not so suspicious, but I find it coincidental, and I don't like coincidences in true crime. They never suit the case, right? It's always like, oh, what a coincidence. So, where is Sebastian? And the thing is where is Sebastian, Katie, and Chris? Because Chris has to have, equal involvement if he is standing with her. She's the last one in the house. We all know she's in on it, in my opinion. Or there would be footage, Mr. and Mrs. E's crime cast was also in Seth's live last night. Excuse me, the night before. And they did a great job of, saying that. I mean, there would be footage of Sebastian. There's so many cameras in that neighborhood, guys. These people have boats. There's water everywhere around Shackle Island. They don't call it Shackle Island for nothing, and people like to get out on that water. So that's what people do when there's water around, that they could do that. So I know it's so messed up. It's a totally messed up situation, Witchy Mama. It's terrible. Sebastian deserved none of it. Ew, Cinderella, see, those guys are creeps. There's so many creeps out there, I swear. Do we know the story they tell about the perp being in a neighborhood? A kid is even true. I wonder, the more I hear, the more I wonder. Mr. Cash, I'm not Cashman. I'm not sure, because it's been so convoluted, and I don't even think I've gotten. I mean, except for unless we're talking about the kid that had the flashlight and was looking for the cat. Now, this is another thing that's so crazy to me. We can see a black cat, but we can't see Sebastian in the neighborhood. Like, how are we able to see a little critter, a little black cat in the neighborhood, but not Sebastian? It's crazy. So, well, good, Miss Ann. I hope you come back. All right, guys. Yes, I know about nuns too. I see you guys talking about nuns in the chat. But welcome in, Mr. Cashman, too. So I'm gonna go ahead and start playing this finally. Sorry, guys. And I think I'm just gonna I think Smiley, or I just don't want to miss a question, because I know there's a question in here.
You can ask whatever questions you would like. Okay. Within reason, like based off the list that I gave you. Because I want to take Bo again. She's the one that went through the last live and went through all the questions that were in chat and wrote them all together.
And that's our friend Bo, and she did a great job of that. Also, I just want to tell you guys that, because she did a great job. Oh, am I stuck? I think I'm stuck. Hold on a second. Why won't it let me go from window to window? Maybe it's my internet connection? No, I get my internet on. Is it gonna let me play? All right, hold on, guys. Let me see. Oh, no, I don't want that one. Sorry, guys. My internet is being so weird. Okay, here we go. No, I still don't have it back. I don't know why it won't let me click on it. If I'm frozen, I'm like frozen here. I can't click on it. It won't let me, and then I'm trying to go back in my windows, and I can't go window to window. Can I refresh this or something? No. All right. See how I click like crazy? I just need to stop clicking, apparently. Let me go on my phone to chat. Oh, here we go. Okay. All right. Well, I got back for you guys, saying waiting for permission. Let me go on my phone to chat. Oh. All right. So you guys could probably still hear me. I hope. But it's not moving my avatar bubble. All right. let me see if I can redo Seth's live.
Whatever questions you would like,
Okay.
within reason, like based
Okay.
off the list that I gave you. Because I want to thank Bo again. She's the one that went through the last live and went through all the questions that were in chat and wrote them all together and emailed them to me. And I hope
Nice.
everybody can hear me because I can't hear myself.
Can y'all hear me okay? Because I don't have my microphone hooked up.
Oh, everybody can hear you fine.
Okay. Hey, Mama Marissa. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining and being patient. I, should
Yeah.
I say their name?
Do what? Well, the
Should I?
reason that yeah, I mean, yeah, because I'm not worried if they ask the question in chat, then they shouldn't really be worried about me
Okay.
putting them out there. I mean, nothing
Right.
against them or anything, but it's
They
not
did
like
ask the question. Yeah.
it's not, and they're not made up people. Oh, look, there's more people.
Hey,
Hey,
No,
Smiley.
it's not an open panel. I sent these people.
oh my God, they just think I just jump up anywhere.
That's because it's fall around and find out.
That's
Yeah.
right.
She like pops up around your back seat. Have you been robbed today?
Oh, we ain't gonna talk about it.
Hey, BHB.
I'm from Florida.
Hey,
Mm.
guys. So
Hello.
do we want to start? Let's start with Horsey Love 124 1234. What can Sebastian's Army do to help?
Well, that's simple. I need people to keep your eyes open and hand out flyers. Talk about Sebastian. It's what I ask everybody to do. Somebody will see Sebastian, and then we can bring him home.
Right.
I see Bullhorn. She's in there.
I see Betty. Yeah.
Yeah, you tell her to go ahead and check her phone.
All right, guys, and I just gifted you guys some memberships. So I'm so glad you guys got them. Welcome to the Dragon Tribe. Sorry about the technical difficulties there. And hey, Sharon Marlowe, good to see you. Hey, Rosebud, good to see you. So yes, welcome to the Dragon Tribe. We got Rod and Cashman also, and or Mr. Cashman to us there. And then Lake Girl, welcome to the Dragon Tribe, and the one Julio, and with the H, and also Mama's the Bomb 4. So, yay, welcome to the Dragon Tribe, guys. Okay, so we'll get back into this.
All right. Let's look at so
Never
the mob
mind.
crew.
I guess
The
I
mob
got to
crew.
pick my phone.
The mob crew also asked the same thing. What can we do to help? So that's great that
Yeah.
we know that we can
Hand out flyers. Talk about Sebastian. Awareness is awareness. It's been 2.5 years, and I'm pretty sure people have forgotten that my son is missing. And look at all the cases that we have of missing people. Everybody's, up to their elbows and neck and Nancy, but it doesn't stop children from going missing just because everybody's watching one, and I'm just as guilty because I only talk about Sebastian. Oh,
there's far too many missing kids, and I'm just so glad that Seth does talk about Sebastian, and it does make me feel so sad for other kids, that don't have that type of um, coverage and things like that. It's just too many times the parents are involved or there's neglect or something happens, and it's just really, really sad. And hey, Barb, good to see you. So thank you, Shadow. Thank you guys for welcoming the new members. So yeah, it is so sad. And there's just far too many, but I would definitely be advocating for my kiddo. A lot of the parents do such a great job of that. So,
Oh, lost. Hi, Benny.
Oh shoot! Sorry, I just realized
Hey, baby.
Hi, Benny.
sorry, you were on my phone. I forgot I had to put all my stuff. I'm sorry. I'm tired here. I'm tired. I forgot I have a microphone. I forgot to have. I got to put these earplugs in to hear.
Same.
You guys. Hi.
Hi.
Hey, she said she wasn't coming up on the panel.
I did, and then I felt bad because I saw you read it, and I wanted to say hi to everybody, but yeah, I mowed 2 yards today, and I protested. My back shot.
I'm surprised you weren't protesting mowing the yard.
I would like.
okay, so I could never keep up with Betty. Like I could try, but by the end of the day, I'd be like ready to just fall over. So that's too funny.
Every time I have done that, I've regretted it. So I think over the years, I've learned just to get your ass up and mow the damn yard.
Oh my gosh.
2 yards today.
I'm adamant about people handing out flyers, spreading the information, talking about him. Wear a shirt. Where
can they get some shirts? Where can they get Sebastian Rogers shirts?
Shirt.
Where can they get some shirts? Where can they get Sebastian Rogers shirts?
Not easy.
Where can they get some shirts? Where can they get Sebastian Rogers shirts? Please don't tell me that's me.
No, I don't think so. I think it was Smiley.
Oh. Huh, that was weird.
She just muted herself, which means that she had StreamYard and probably YouTube open too.
Mm.
And see, I didn't hear any of this because I was so I apologize. I thought I was at the right spot, but I guess everybody's just getting started. I was trying to get my computer and stuff all out and everything at this point. So yeah, Rod, I agree. Nina's interview told everybody about Chris and his behavior towards Sebastian. Yeah, we all suspected it, right? Because of Nina's what she said happened, and I believe her. I always did. That Chris was abusive with their kids, right? Like theirs together, who was a little baby at the time, and then obviously she had a little boy and a little girl as well. So at that time, but so yeah, exactly. Me too, Witchy Mama. I'm like, I would try because Betty does good things, so I would go to a protest with her, but then I'd be like, okay, I'd be tired because it takes a lot out of you. Hey, Poppy Love. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm sorry you have a migraine, Poppy Love. I hope you feel better soon. Those are so hard on people. My goodness. I do not like headaches. I just have to sleep if I have a headache.
Here's the merchandise link.
Yeah, I don't even have that.
Okay.
No, I think Betty needs a Cabana boy to mow her yard.
Oh, and I'm going to drop the merch link too, guys, because you could be a walking billboard for Sebastian. That's a great way to kind of, like if you don't want to pass out flyers, just wear a flyer, because it has the whole FBI flyer with the information on the back and then a really sweet picture of Sebastian on the front.
Here's the link, guys. All right.
Thank you. So
Ready
I'm
for
sorry.
another question?
I'm sorry for coming in late. Do you guys mind filling me in the questions that were already asked? And
Well, so far the only thing that has been asked is, you know, people ask what they can do.
okay,
I thought I sent you the list as well.
not me, not that I'm aware of.
Oh yeah, pretty sure I sent it to you.
Well,
Thank you, Mama
if you,
Marissa.
If you guys did it
So
today-
Casey Hughes asked, is there a fund to help with legal fees?
No, my attorney is doing everything off of, I don't remember what they call it.
contingency fee.
Contingency fee, yes. I sent it to your Gmail, Betty.
Oh, maybe that's why I didn't get it. Okay.
Michelle G.A. Seth, can you tell us where this court proceeding will be held?
I believe it will be held in Nashville at the federal court.
Michelle Scott, 8710. Seth, when these records they closed or read in court and it states who the abusers were, will it instigate charges against them by the judge hearing these lawsuits?
This is a civil case. I don't believe that any criminal. It's a civil case, so I would have to say that there's no criminal charges from the civil case. When the judge reads it, I mean, federal judges have a lot more authority than, I do, or my attorney. But this is civil. This is just trying to get information that other people were already privy to. Before my son went missing. I know that there are some we got speaking of judges, it's
Here's the court.
here's night court,
I'm sorry, I
Here's
was
one.
muted. I was muted there.
Hey,
Sorry
like-
about that. Hey guys. Hey ladies and
honey.
Seth. Good to see you guys.
Chasing True Crime is asking you and Bullhorn Betty a question. Can you tell me if any law enforcement ever stated he did make it home?
Say that again. I'm sorry. I saw Betty waving.
I did too. I saw her wave.
The answer is yes. The answer is yes to that question. The answer is the question is can you tell me if any law enforcement ever stated he made it home? And yes, a law enforcement officer did state it, and it was Sonny Weatherford to Seth's PIs that they recorded and put all over the internet. But other than that, was the
Yep. Yeah, and you know, that was a really good bit of information when we got to listen to that, and I mean it gave us some answers to some questions. And again, like I was saying earlier, I just find it odd that Sonny Weatherford said a couple of things. One, about the trash video. He said that it was Sebastian taking out the trash at 6:30, but we all know that that's the time that Sebastian was leaving the Texas Roadhouse, and it's about a 10 to 15-minute drive. I would give a 15-minute estimate, being liberal about the estimate, right? And generous with the time there, because they could have gotten held up someplace. It wouldn't raise the eyebrows too much about Katie, um, you know, making it in 15 minutes instead of 10. Um, so I would think after the federal judge gets wind of this, after it's all over with this litigation, in my opinion, there will be indictments for possibly criminal charges. Well, and we're about to hear a little bit later, and a lot of us were in there. I know you were too, Rosebud, about the fact that the TBI has it as a criminal investigation. So does Sumner County, by the way. And I showed you guys on their website. It was a few months ago. It was a video I made. I was asking, will the real Brandon Carter please stand up, right? Because we've never heard from Brandon Carter. He's never come out and spoke. He did write some things, or was a part of the FBI press release that they did. But there was a lot of mistakes in there. One, the first mistake in the first sentence was that Sebastian, was 14 when he went missing, and he wasn't. He just turned 15 December 7th, and then he was reported missing on February 26th, 2024. So, it's just been a real shit show from the beginning. Hey, Ann Brock, good to see you. And Sebastian deserves better than a shit show. It's just really sad.
Well, only one I've ever heard.
Only rest in peace. But the only thing I'm going to state on that one is that even though Sonny Weatherford stated that, I don't think he was really. The chief deputy is the one who was running this case from the get-go. It was not Sonny. And just the conversation that I have heard that was given to me from those PIs, it sounded like he really didn't know what was going on with the case, because I'm pretty sure Sonny was not thinking about my son. I think he was thinking about his retirement that was coming up. He was trying to leave an office.
Yep. I agree 100%.
Wow. $20 just to tell me that I'm working with the wrong people.
Oh my Lord.
I believe
People that have been by his side from day one, through literally thick and thin.
Yeah.
I also want to say that, and Jen and Betty and everybody has been there, from the very beginning. I was still, making videos and very new to true crime. Sebastian's my first case. And so, but I really connected with Seth, because of his fight for Sebastian, and I obviously am going to stand behind somebody who's fighting for their son. Even if it was Katie and everybody thought, I would still entertain that, right? I would still entertain her. But she just doesn't do it. And that's what's really sad. Yeah. So I don't know why everybody decides to stalk and harass anybody that Seth is working with, because let me tell you, this wasn't the only person that did that. And then there were like multiple people and alts coming in and doing that. Right. And they were like sending money, but because they knew that if they said it in the chat, it wasn't going to go through. But if they put it as a super chat, it has to go through. Right. And we saw the nasty, grimy Crime Chronicles lady do that to Mob Crew the one night, where she super chatted and said something rude. If you guys want to spend your hard-earned money like sending me hate comments, go right ahead, please, by all means. It's more money in my pocket to do good with. But I just, and same goes for Seth, to be honest, but I just thought that was really shitty. And You know, when I think back about Tony and everything that he went through, because people didn't like him working with Seth, or approve of it, it really makes me sad and sick to my stomach, because um, it's really no one's choice besides Seth who he decides to work with. And I love his answer here. And, you know, it really warmed my heart and made me feel good. But in the same way, I hate that they were trolling him, because he doesn't deserve to be treated that way. His son is missing and he's asking people for help, and people are being so rude. They're doing the most to be so rude. And later on in the show, we're also going to talk about how people went about when Seth put out a change.org petition to bring the FBI in and take the case, instead of having Sumner County with it, because he didn't approve of how they were handling it, because they weren't really doing anything. And so he was trying to get a petition out there through change.org. And then other people started making, um, and it's so weird, but they started making their own petitions. So what that does is that takes signatures from his petition away and puts it into a faulty petition. And do you see how that could be horrible for, spreading awareness on that petition for Sebastian? And they're taking it away from Sebastian. Like, they think they're doing something good by doing something horrible to Seth and trying to screw up his efforts. But at the end of the day, the person that they're really hurting is Sebastian, because we need the FBI to take the case over. In my opinion, Sumner County did not do the right thing, and they wanted to cover their asses because they knew about the abuse. And so instead of actually looking for Sebastian, they didn't. Right? They did a massive 7-day search. Yes, they did, but that was a waste of resources. And in my opinion, it was a deliberate waste of resources. And now they have mud all over their face, like they were playing in a pig pen, right? Because it's so dirty and underhanded what they have done here. That's why they're being sued by this missing child's father, Seth Rogers. And I hope he wins every single bit of what he's asking for, but that's what these people do. And it's really, again, I don't even think disgusting, grotesque, right? It's putrid. Putrid is a good word. You guys are putrid, the ones that do that. Hey, Veronica, welcome in, Diane. Hey, Diane. Oh, hey. Well, thank you, KDP, for buying a shirt in the merch store. That is so cool. Oh my gosh, that helps out the channel tremendously. I'm going to put some of the new stuff on there too. Some of these little AI creations that I've been making, or, well, AI makes it. I just ask it to make certain things or do certain things, and it's amazing, but I will complain. Sometimes I'll be like, I hate AI. It's so weird. But yeah, so I'll definitely have some new stuff up for you guys. And thank you so much. That's awesome. And Rosebud says it's pretty risky to pay off a federal judge. The repercussions of that are severe for a lifelong career goal. I think a change of venue would be demanded by the defense if criminal indictments happen. Well, and there's a lot to consider with this, right? And I was saying that too, Rosebud. So I think it's interesting that you say that, because that's why I knew there was corruption in Sumner County, which I think a lot of us did. But I wasn't understanding the gravity of it or how deep it went. And Seth would say things sometimes, now that I'm looking back in hindsight, which is always 2020, and I'm like, oh, when he said that it runs deep, it runs deep. Like, he didn't tell me specifics, right? But I mean, he would say it even, publicly. It runs deep, right? Because he knew that all of these agencies and all of these people were involved in Sebastian's life, and knew that he was in imminent danger, and knew that he was scared, and all of this. And I was like, but before that, I'm like, it's risky, like you're saying. And also, why would they screw up their own careers just to stick up for Chris and Katie Proudfoot? Even if they're giving them money, but they can't be giving them that much money. Like, they're not Murdaugh rich, right? They're Proudfoot, Stinkyfoot rich, right? Where they have sources and they're just willing to do dirty things. So I was like, what's up with that? But I don't know. Now I understand it better because they were covering their arses and they didn't want anybody to know that they knew. So if they were to arrest Chris and Katie, that's the dirt that Chris and Katie had on them the whole entire time. Now it makes sense. I said they'd have to have some dirt on Eric Craddock for him to do this, right? That's his dog in the fight. They have dirt on Eric Craddock. Now it's clear. Now it's crystal clear, because they could turn around and be like, well, they all knew about it. And don't think they won't. They're dirty. They're underhanded. They would hurt, Chris and Katie allowed for her own son to be hurt by her husband. She's like, no, I'm not concerned that he was hit in the belly, backhanded in the belly. Like, if you backhand somebody in their stomach hard enough, you can hurt them really badly depending on where he struck him. What a son of a bitch, in my opinion. Rosebud says, of course, that's way down the road, but you never know what the civil litigation would produce. Yeah. Well, and, like Seth says in this live, too, he's like, discovery, right? Because that's the goal in the civil litigation, is to get some people to have to talk under oath and be deposed. And we saw that in the Gabby Petito case, because that's what they had to resort to because of the dirty laundries. Now, the dirty laundries and the Foot Clan, in my opinion, are one and the same. They're not going to talk, right? Not any truths. But then again, the laundries were even better at just completely shutting down and not talking at all. Mr. Proudfoot, on the other hand, bragged about beating Sebastian with a belt. Why has he never been arrested, and why is he at large? Because when you put your hands, your big stinky pig hands, all over Sebastian, you deserve, who is a disabled child, you deserve to be in jail. So why is he at large? That's my question. I hope they're as scared of Sebastian too, Cinderella. I sure hope so, because it's awful. It is just awful what we've learned, and it just bothers me so much to think that he went through that. It is so sad. Aw, I can't wait to get it. It says KDP, better than a walking flyer of Sweet Sebastian. Aw, that's so sweet. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. From that merch store. Oh, perfect. Well, perfect. Okay. I forgot that I dropped the links. Hello. Maybe I got too much sleep. Oh, that's so awesome, KDP. Well, hell yeah. I'm glad. And people ask me all the time about my shirt, because I have the hoodie and I have the shirt and then I have a bag. So, if it's in the wash, because sometimes, that's hit or miss. Oh, hey, Veronica. Well, thank you so much for your super sticker, or super chat, rather. I'm a ninja, just joking. I just wanted to give you up some money. Not that it's funny, but that's so sweet, Veronica. Thank you. I really appreciate that. So, Seth. Hey, Seth. Good to see you. You trolling? Are you trolling tonight under an alt account? No, I'm just kidding. One letter off of your normal. See, and Seth has a wrench, so I know if it's like really him or not. All right, so let's get back to it.
Okay.
He seemed really, the Sonny Weatherford seemed like he was checked out when the PIs were talking to him in the beginning. He kind of seemed like he didn't really know what was going on and was referring back to, like, Carter and them.
If you listen to it when when he speaks, it's almost apprehensive, like he didn't know it. That's the tone that I received when I listened to it. And when I asked for proof of life, they showed me Texas Roadhouse.
Okay, guys. So I had my mic muted, but you can't tell. Like I could see it on my end, but I can't. But you guys can't tell on this, right? But I was muted, and I was like, "Oh my goodness," you know. And I guess like it just hit me, but I never really thought of it that way. Um, you know that when Seth asked for proof of life, they showed him the Texas Roadhouse. If he asked for proof of life, why wouldn't they just show him the trash can video if that one did show, you know, Sebastian? So I thought that was really interesting, and I was like, duh, you know, like behind the scenes, but I was muted. But yeah, I was really thought that that was very interesting too, because we just don't know, you know, and I've kind of teeter tottered around on the subject where I feel like there are some possibilities, but it's a small time frame. Again, say we're looking at, you know, depending on the exact time that Katie pulled in the driveway, which is still unknown, but say she had 15 to 30 minutes, because I do think she made it home by around 7, because that's what the neighbor was saying, that the trash was taken out about 7 o'clock, I believe. So, you know, just say that's not a whole lot of time, not a whole lot of time at all. Um, so then I'm like, okay, she's got from 7 p.m. until 6 a.m. Now that's a huge window of time where things could have happened. And I think that's the most likely. But we also have the morning time where Kathy Bowersox was allegedly sitting at Warsham's at 5:30 a.m. We have Melissa saying they were searching since 6:30. The dispatch audio is from 6:33. They asked the exact time, and the dispatch said the call came in at 6:33 a.m. So again, that leaves 33 minutes or less for Katie to have done a handoff with Cruella, right? Probably less, because we do see her in the neighborhood around 6:32. She's driving with her windows up, saying that she's looking around the neighborhood for Sebastian. So yeah, the hoodies are awesome. They're so comfortable. That's funny. Well, quit your trolling, quit your trolling. But yeah, so very interesting, just a lot of things to think about.
That to me is a real that's a real big it's a real big notification for me, for law enforcement to show me the Texas Roadhouse of him leaving, not the whole thing, but just him leaving as proof of life. That doesn't, to me, that doesn't mean that he came home. And no matter how I look at it, too many lies have been told on the other side for me to believe what comes out of their mouth.
I mean, and you know, I knew that there were questions in the chat that I wanted to help, you know, out with some of the creators and things, because they had some really good questions, and it's going to be brought up a little bit later too. But you know, again, how can we trust law enforcement when they're telling us some crazy, you know, ish like this? We don't know what the hell they're talking about when they're doing this, because we're like, there's no way on God's green earth that that makes sense. So then we all feel betrayed and lied to by law enforcement, you know. And not only that, Craddock was coming out and saying some foul shit too, like, oh, you know, it's real easy to sit there and do that. Oh, the rumor mill and all this. Like, it kind of was upsetting to hear him doing that. And then on top of it, he's trying to lie to us. And we're like, no. And then finally, when we were asking Seth, you know, can you really tell that it's Sebastian, or and he's like, well, it's so grainy and dark, you can't really tell. So he was basically taking law enforcement's word for it. And, I would too. And you want to believe them. And it's just, there's just been too much that has happened. And also not arresting Chris Proudfoot for his part. And, he was the main one. Again, Katie, I don't know if there's laws against somebody allowing for, two adults in the house allowing for one adult to abuse the child. But, I just say shame on Katie too, because she should have done something about that. She should have left. She was not financially obligated, and that's one of the bigger things when you're trying to get out of abuse. And I don't know if she was, but I can't give her a free pass anymore. I don't give a shit, really, because it comes down to what she was leaving Sebastian to deal with. And she's a big girl, and that's her husband. She should have never trusted that guy, especially when he's like, get rid of your cats. And those are Sebastian's service animals too. So, Mr. Cuddle struggle, KP or KDP. That's funny. Hey, Alicia Hot Wheels, good to see you. We'll drive safe. Thank you for listening. I'm glad you're here. So, it's just crazy, Jilly. I'm so beyond, mad. But I really took, I really got pissed off the other night. So if you guys hear my Sunday night live, after Seth went live, or I'm sorry, Friday night live. What am I thinking? It is Sunday. Or Monday. But yeah, I was pissed off because it's just Sebastian should have had to deal with this. Neither should Seth be up here having to deal with it. And then law enforcement is just not being honest. It's not illegal for them to lie to anyone. They're allowed to do it. It's just, you would hope that they would use that opportunity when it comes to, say, tricking a perpetrator or a predator, rather than tricking a father of a missing child in the public who are looking for that child. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's so fucking shady.
So I know that law enforcement has stated that they have no proof that he's ever left the house, but to have proof that he was ever in the house prior to the missing. I'm sorry, is that coffee that you're drinking there, Betty?
It is.
You still going to sleep after this, or is this just to keep you awake?
I have no problem sleeping at night, even with caffeination in my blood.
Are you drinking decaf coffee?
This is the coffee club. Decaf. we don't drink diet food around here.
Just making sure. I mean, I like mine. Jet fuel, milk spoon.
Well, it's not quite jet fuel, but I'm really not, like, I got this new flavor, just mocha. I'm not really digging it. I like my caramel.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My creamer normally stays in the refrigerator, and so
This is not creamer; it's syrup, sugar-free syrup.
Okay, well, I don't put syrup on anything but my pancakes or waffles.
Well, you're just not a coffee connoisseur.
Oh, I'm a coffee connoisseur.
No, you drink mud. That's not a coffee connoisseur.
That's
a mud drinker.
Oh my gosh, I totally drink mud. I love mud coffee. The darker the better. Okay, it's the best. And hey, Deborah Dixon, she says "fark the decaf." I love that. I need to use that as an alternative swear word. But yes, fark the decaf, because I can't with that. Like, I like the taste of coffee, don't get me wrong, but if I'm smelling the coffee, tasting it, and I'm not getting the effects of it, I'm like, oh, this is bunk, So that's so funny. But yeah, I have to have my coffee, and it's got to be dark. dark roast and strong.
Hey, listen, there was a war
A
fought.
jet fuel drinker.
There was a war and a massacre. The Boston Tea Party. All three people. That was the Boston Massacre. All right, those three people died, so I could have coffee. All right. And then we had a Revolutionary War about taxation without proper representation.
Well, I think that's what they're doing to coffee right now. I think the coffee bean needs to be represented. I think instead of us having a Department of Agriculture, we need a Department of Coffee or Department of Caffeine and fix whatever is going on with why coffee should not be as. We're getting off topic.
And I'm sitting there muted again, but I'm laughing behind the scenes because I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. So we got all into the coffee conversation. And Jilly says, I drink 2 caffeine Diet Cokes and the rest no caffeine, but definitely need that early morning or early AM boost. Yeah. I mean, I'm just like, I make my coffee before the live and I'm like, okay, I got my coffee. But when I first wake up, I'm like answering text messages and I'm still like got one eye open, like, oh, I need this coffee to kick in. So yes. Straight up black, my coffee, that is. That's funny. Rosebud. Just to clarify, but Rosebud, oh my gosh. See, I have to put, I put coffee creamer in it, but I don't put a lot and I don't put any sugar in it if I use the flavored coffee creamer. So, but I have to have it, Ooh, Deborah, that sounds so good. An espresso martini. I make them all the time when I'm snow skiing. My 11 a.m. pit stop. That sounds like so much fun. Like a cozy lodge and an espresso martini. Ooh, that sounds good. Only on the mountain though. That's so fun. I don't know what would happen if I tried to ski. I'd probably fall on my butt and be like, I can't get up, help. That's funny. But it does sound like fun. I don't know, skiing, everybody makes it look so easy, and obviously, you're going downhill and stuff, but I don't know. I feel like I would bust my ass. So, Veronica says I still have my sweatshirt from when, unfortunately, in the beginning, but I still wear it and I freeze in my house. Unfortunately, I don't go out, but I can. But support in many different ways. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and they're so comfy, and it helps a lot. It's just like I keep Sebastian's. Well, what I want to do is when I start doing shows, I want to start showing myself on camera again, but I need to set up. So I want to get a magnet board. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. But it's kind of like a dry erase board, but it's also magnetic. And I want to set something up like that too, for my set, because I also have, an awesome Dragon Tribe neon that my daughter got me for Christmas, but I haven't put it up yet. So, coffee and Mountain Dew are your life force, Seth. Diane says, I love you, air banter. Thanks. Thank you, Diane. Mountain Dew is some nasty stuff. I do like a Mountain Dew every now and then. So I'm drinking what am I drinking? The Dr. Thunder 2 tonight. That's about the only one I like the off brand of. So that's what I'm drinking. I like a scoop of ice cream in my coffee. Ooh, witchy. That sounds so good. Yes. I did that with, it was like a cake thing that Nate got, and I scooped some of the whipped cream off the top and put it in my coffee. So, let's see. Oh, Zero Mountain Dew. See, I can't do, I used to love Diet Coke, but I can't do diet anymore. I don't know why. I just do regular pop, which is probably not the best.
So
Not too hard with
Allie,
everybody that's on the panel, Betty.
I'm going to interject. Allie NZ New. Seth, could you get the Cold Case Foundation on board to help you?
I have spoken to Mr. Christopher McDonough, and he said he would get back with me.
Oh, sorry. Here we go, guys. Um, oh, hey, Spicy Disaster. I like your name says Monster Coffee and Mountain Dew here. I do like the Monster coffees. I can't drink like energy drinks. They just make my heart go too fast. Like it is crazy. But my daughter's favorite is Dr. Pepper, like Sammy. Right? Cans of Dr. Pepper. Like the only one I could do an off is Dr. Thunder. Like it tastes a lot like Dr. Pepper, whatever they put in it. Um, so water with Skittles packets. Oh, that sounds good too, though. I bet you it turns your drink like fun colors and stuff. Um, yeah. Well, and I used to like to do like the crystal lights and stuff like that too in my water because I do try to drink a lot of water too. Um, but then I'm like, ooh, does it count because it goes in my coffee? Does that count as my water? So a little bit, I guess. Um, Ooh, a rocket shake. Ooh, that sounds really good. 1 cup of cold coffee, 5 tablespoons of instant coffee. Ooh, well, that is a boost there. There's a rocket, and then 3 scoops of ice cream and blend it until thick as a nickel. And enjoy. That sounds good, Seth. I'm gonna try that. What kind of ice cream do you use? Like chocolate or vanilla, or maybe a little bit of both? Um, I maybe the Neapolitan would be good to use for that. Me either, but coffee does it. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. The coffee doesn't do it to me either because I like to get the double shots of espresso too from Starbucks. Or not Starbucks, but you can get them like at the gas station, but they are Starbucks brand. Um yeah. Yeah. It has to be all the way cold or all the way hot for me too, Rosebud. I'm just kind of like I can't really do in between. Although sometimes like right now my coffee's gotten room temperature. So that's fine, but I should put a couple of ice cubes in it and make it an iced one. I drink it really fast though. So oh yeah, okay, grape flavor. Oh yeah. Oh that would be good. I do like grape flavored stuff. And I like the green Skittles. I drink coffee all day and night, and there's nothing else I like. Yeah, I drink a lot of coffee too, especially if I'm up late. But um, yes, it does count if it's filtered through grounds. Some coffee beans. Yeah, I don't buy instant coffee, but I would to make that. So, ooh, Rocky Road would be good. Yes, Witchy Mama, it would be. I'll just make a cup of coffee and drink Nutty Buddy or dunk a Nutty Buddy in it. Ooh, that sounds delicious. I love Nutty Buddy bars. Like there are certain things like I don't like Twinkies or any of those. But Nutty Buddy bars, oh, that's my jam. And I like zebra cakes too.
And I'm still waiting on him to get back to me. I have been to their website.
But in all fairness, I think the last time you spoke to him, there was so much chaos in this case, and I think a lot of stuff has died down. And I think that might have been
He jumped
one of
on
his biggest concerns. You know what I'm saying? So maybe reapproaching him or something. Just a thought.
I mean, I can always approach him. I did go to their website and I filled out all the paperwork like they asked me to do. And we know it's an organization. It's got it's got to make it through the initial before it can make it to anybody else.
Right.
I don't know. He's been on the Nancy Guthrie, and
Yeah.
a lot of people are on Nancy.
That's a hot case, that's for sure. It's got all the twists and turns and bells and the whistles and some details that are quite similar to some of the details in your son's case. I mean, in all fairness,
Oh, and I also saw that Sheriff Nanos came out like 2 days ago too, and was speaking. I know that Nancy's daughter, Savannah Guthrie, right? A lot of us know her from the Today Show and all of that. Hey, Jenny. Hey, Kylie Ray. Good to see you. She says Pepsi over here, 100%. Hey, and hello, Show Poodles. I'm in Cajun country. We drink dark roast coffee in our bottles when we're babies. I love it. Oh my gosh, I just love coffee. I always have though. Like when I was little, I used to dunk cookies in coffee because um, yeah, I would be like, "Mom, let me dunk my cookie in there," and she'd be like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna get cookie. You'll get like the little crumbs everywhere." And I'm like, "Just let me dunk it once." So, but yeah, so Chris McDonough, I'm hoping since Seth was able to fill out all the paperwork and get everything going with that, because I'd like to see him involved, and I would like to see the Cold Case Foundation get involved in Sebastian's case. So, but of course they do have to have, like, I'm sure like they have a board and maybe they approve things. I don't know. You'd have to have some kind of a hierarchy in order to, keep things organized, in my opinion. So Sheriff No Nads needs to go. KPD. I'm telling you, I got frustrated in that case in the beginning and I was just like, no. But I mean, I talked a little bit about Nancy Guthrie's case, but I wasn't one of the ones that was covering it every day or anything. Mostly because I was still covering Sebastian in other cases um, and a lot of things have happened since Nancy Guthrie's gone missing. I don't know what to think because, there's just so much to it. But I heard no one likes him. And so I was like, I want to listen to that and see. But then again, I don't know. I don't know a whole lot because I haven't paid attention. Um, I just feel like we need to do better for the kids. I hope she's found. Um, But if I was an old lady and there was a little kid, um, you know, I'd want them to look for the little kid too. I think um I just think there needs to be more awareness because we just can't forget. I mean, even like Harmony Montgomery, it's like, yes, her dad was convicted, but now he's asking for a new trial and he won't even tell us what he did with her body. And that's awful. And she's a beautiful little girl and she never should ever have to deal with that. I'm praying for justice for little Javea Harris. Um, James Hutchinson is another little guy that they've never found. Michael Monkey Vaughn and all of the nonsense she has had to put up with those four predators, in my opinion, it's just unbelievable. So, but again, I'm really hoping that Chris is able to step in and help because we sure could use his help. And, you know, Sebastian deserves to be found.
you know,
I agree.
Corruption is a problem. Corruption is a problem across this country. I think corruption and lack of competence and professionalism and leadership, it's tanked your son's case in a sense because, I mean, how do they not have evidence? How do they not have any evidence of where your son is at this juncture?
Exactly, Betty. Hard to believe.
Oh, thank you, Sue Tubes. I appreciate your $5 worth of blah. Mods, feel free to
Where is that at? I was on here.
I got that one, Betty. Betty, you got the other one. I got
Yeah.
that one.
I tell them thank you for
I'm
the
over
tip.
there. Okay, so again, guys, that's another example where people were like, and it wasn't just one or two times. It was like they were flooding the chat with stupid shit like that, but they were paying to do it. And, in my opinion, it's just something that I would never dream of doing. Like, it would just be like, why would I go in there and troll? And they were saying just horrible things, and it's sad, but it's also I guess helps a little bit out, right? Because when Seth gets a super chat or people buy merch, it's always, gonna go for Sebastian, and but I just don't understand why people feel the need to do that. You're $5 worth of black. And we were over there playing whack a troll, and it's so funny because the mods can see when other mods are like, it'll be like Betty, did that, or Lady Freedom, or this, person Cajun was like, she was whacking trolls left and right. She was like, karate chopping them, and the chat. It was hilarious. And I was like, oh, good job. And, we were all like, okay, keep it about Sebastian and everything like that. But it was so hard because there were so many that like swooped in all at once. And that's what they do, right? Like that's their MO. But that's how they operate, sleazing around the streets, So, oh gosh, it was just crazy. It was just crazy. It just like, yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was like, okay, well, here we go. And I'll tell you, there was, again, some really nice people in the chat as well. So they whack a troll. We were playing whack a troll, and they were in there, and we see you trolling and hating. It's like, but again, the only way that their comments would have got through, because the mods are so good, right? Like brush our shoulders off, is if they super chat, right? So that was like, oh, you little shits. But yeah, like I said, it'll all go for a good cause for Sebastian.
Ask him if it was worth it, when
Well, I
it's
prefer a tip telling me where my son was than your
Right.
$5.
exactly.
Maybe
Everybody's got a
stop
comment.
drinking decaf and start drinking real coffee.
You know what I find? Let me just say this here. I'm going to.
Yes, and before Betty says this is so well said, Jenny Machete, good to see you. She says, "Yep, the trolls come into the chat in groups," and that's what's so crazy, right? I'm like, oh my god, it's an organized effort, right? Like it has to be. There has to be like a troll Discord somewhere that's like, all right, ready and go. You know what I mean? But our Discord is fun. Like we don't do that. I mean, I was one time, oh hey Jules, one time, we were talking about something, and people like doxing each other, and I'm like, well, that person's last name, it would be easy to find too, like I try to remind people of that, like, oh, it's easy to find you too, right, in this information age. So don't think you're so slick. But I'm so glad to see you, Jules, and thank you so much for being here too. But yeah, so but I mean, it's definitely a group effort, like they plot somewhere, right? They're like in the depths of hell, some Discord from the depths of hell, and they all come in. It's like, oh, you punks. Oh my gosh. So, so yeah, but it was something else, but we got on track pretty quick.
Say this. I'm gonna put this down just like this.
Oh damn, here comes Betty though. This is great.
Uh-oh.
I think it's very disgusting. I think not only is it very disgusting, it's immature. It's not how in your sick mind do you justify speaking and treating a father of a missing boy like this? How do you justify it? I just want the idiots that are out there that are saying these things just to justify your behavior. Because trust me, you think it's funny tonight, but karma, like, even if you don't believe in the wrath of God, certainly you believe in karma.
I believe both.
And you just need to realize that even though you think it's cute tonight, when it comes your turn, you're not going to think it's so cute. And you better hope and pray that it's nothing real serious.
Oh, definitely. And I believe in both. I definitely am a God fearing person. And I do think his wrath is, you know, a lot of it has to do with the Lord. What goes around comes around, and I mean, if you're going to do bad things, it's going to come back to you, and that's the way I look at it too. But I just think it's so crazy. And Jules, that's so cute. She says, I'm craving deviled eggs. Well, I did not want to announce your announcement because I wasn't sure if you wanted to do it here too, but I was waiting to see you. But our Jules, she's about to have a little baby. She found out that she is pregnant too. So congratulations to Jules. And, I know that you're going to make a wonderful mama. It's not the same, right? When you have the dogs and everything, but Jules is an amazing dog trainer for our United States military. And, I just appreciate you so much, Jules. And I'm just so happy for you. So, yeah, I'm glad you're here. Hey, all that is unseen. Night Court is in session. Yes. Yes, ma'am. So, did I make it Justin Timberlake? No. No, but I just always think it's so funny when he told the cops when he got pulled over on his DUI, he's like, I'm on the world tour. I know he's like, I'm on a world tour. I can't even say it. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. Yeah, Karma will get you. Yeah. Yeah, F you with Karma will F you with a stiletto if not if not in this life but the next. Exactly. Well, I mean, I just think like you reap what you sow and things like that. So it's like, you know, just whatever you put out there is like you got to do good. That's why I don't like do another channel where I just like talk a bunch of crap about people because I know a lot of people do that. But I don't know. I don't want to balance out the good stuff I do with the bad stuff or vice versa. So, thanks all that is unseen for the disco ball. That's so cute. Aw. So, yeah, yeah, congratulations to our Jules. I know, right? Babies are such a blessing. And then we were sending her baby emojis like in the Discord, and I'm like, now I want a baby because like there was this cute little baby and she's like dancing. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then I remember I'm like, I'm too old and my baby's already an adult. So I'm like, no. But oh, they're so bad, Jules. They're just so bad. It's like, grow up, people. Hey, Crybaby Walker. Do you see in chat I sent a photo, but I didn't and I can't. Oh, no, I didn't see it. I was in there earlier though. I was in the Discord earlier for a little while. So, okay, okay. I know I've been having technical difficulties today. So, Jules says I'm only 7 weeks, so I don't know yet. We will do a gender reveal when it's time. Oh my goodness. Yay. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. And then Jen's daughter just had a baby, a little baby boy, and he's just, so adorable. Like I said, like all these babies, and I'm like, oh, because they're just so precious and, I don't know. I think it's wonderful. So, yeah, oh, blue line baby, both fathers. Father and I are law enforcement. Yeah, exactly, Jules. That's so wonderful. I'm just like so happy. Make sure that you tell him I said congratulations too, from the Dragon Tribe. So, that's fantastic. And thank you both for all that you guys do. Really, really appreciate you guys.
Because sometimes that bite comes back and it stings real bad. So just be careful, and people need to start being more respectful of one another. I think this country has gotten way too divided, and I think it's become so easy to be nasty to people you don't know.
Amen.
And it's time to stop. There are people missing. There are lives that have been uprooted. There's pain that you have no clue about. And for you to dare come here and be this disrespectful to a father, I'm done. Knock it off.
Yes.
100%.
That's what I'm talking about.
I can't say
Yeah,
it better
Betty's
than
not
that.
drinking decaf.
That's
I'm
Betty
awake.
on decaf.
And I
She's-
mowed 2 yards and did protest today and cooked a dinner. I cooked fresh mac and cheese. Did you see? That was beautiful.
I saw that. I saw that.
That's some beautiful mac and cheese, y'all.
Betty's so funny. See why I say I can't stick up or I can't stick with her? Like if she was I would have said I'm good after the protest. Here she is making macaroni and cheese. She made something else that day too. I can't remember. It was on her post and I liked it. But I was like, then she comes up on Seth's panel and she's like, yeah, and I mowed some yards and did some protesting and I made a whole dinner. I'm like, damn girl. Hey Brad, good to see you. You know, so I'm like, I couldn't stick with her. I'd be like, I need to order a pizza or stop, stop and get some food.
Telling you, it was just as good. Oh, good gracious. That's my best friend's cheese mix. I didn't do that. But she was ready to toss it out. I know you're not because she had too much of it. Give me that. So I'm just saying.
But they do that to these children, and not just on this father's panel, to anybody that's talking about children. They'll go in and they'll troll, and it's sickening. It's disgusting.
Well, I
Yeah.
think the first thing, if I may, I know this is a little off topic, but for everybody, if you see people like that, you know what you do? This is what we need to start doing moving forward. Whether the people remove them or not, go to the little bubble next to everybody's name. You can individually block them. So the next time you see an asshat come into any channel, whether it's this channel or somebody else's, go.
She said, anytime you see an ass hat, come into one of the channels. She's going to tell you how to take care of that situation. I don't really block people. Now I will block people from like the chat, but like on YouTube, I don't, because I always want to see what they're saying because I'm nosy, right? But that's about the only reason. But it's funny though. Betty's about to tell you how to block people if you don't want to deal with their BS.
Up there, hit that circle, and block them, so you never have to see their nastiness again. And we'll cleanse the world one thumbnail at a time. Just saying.
It's a way to do
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's get back to Sebastian. He's more important.
it. Mm-hmm.
You know, it doesn't. I mean, I'll be honest. It doesn't bother me. I've been dealing with it for 2.5 years.
It bothers me. It bothers me because, we deal with humanity here. And I just don't know where the hell our humanity has gone. It bothers me a lot.
It bothers me too, and I don't understand why people would ever do something like that. Like, even if I don't agree with them, if Chris and Katie, for example, were doing a live stream about Sebastian, I would never dream of going in there and doing that. And let me find out that any of my mods were doing that, because I would have to take their wrench because they're not representing out there. Like, that's not what we're about. We don't do that kind of stuff, just chill back and listen, but don't troll even if I think Katie has involvement, which I do, obviously. I obviously think Chris is involved because of the way he talked about Sebastian and treated Sebastian. But if they did a live stream about Sebastian, I wouldn't do anything like that. As a matter of fact, I've been watching Duchess's live and not said anything horrible to Chris or Katie, because why would you do that? It's I don't know. It's evil. And I know Seth says he's used to it, but he does not deserve that shit. This man is looking for his missing child, and no one should ever have to deal with that. If you can't say anything nice, then don't say anything at all. We're all adults here. Supposed to be.
Okay. How somebody can come in and treat it doesn't matter about just you, Seth. It's just any family. You're not the first time that they've treated like this. How do you do that? How do you justify?
Well, there's no justification for it.
There isn't.
From the get-go, I haven't asked for sides. From the get-go, I've asked for Sebastian to be found. And people just naturally think that they got to choose a side. And You know, the fact is that there's only one person missing, and Sebastian is still lost. He's lost in this world, and the only thing I care about is finding him. You know, it's I don't wish it upon anybody for your child to go missing ever. It's not.
There's no words for it. Trying to describe. There's no words for it. We the people that are here know that. The people who've been around know there's no words to describe a parent losing their child, or their child anything past that, from missing on over. It is the worst case scenario, and nobody. I mean, that's what angers me. Like you say, it doesn't bother you. That's why it bothers me, because nobody understands except the very few in this very sad club.
I mean, you're right, Rogue. I mean, Rogue as well. You know, to be honest, Seth, the Proudfoots had made that division, in my opinion, for some unknown reason.
They have. They've went out of their way for the divide.
They have, because I mean, and you know, I find Sebastian. He'll find out what I've been dealing with, what I've been going through. You know, trying to find him, and the whole point of it is that I don't see them, you know, asking people to hand out flyers. I don't see them handing out flyers. I don't. They've never showed up for a vigil to help support finding of Sebastian. And yeah, thanks for your wow.
Hey, yeah, it's good.
Why not answer questions if you want help? I've been
Don't read them out loud. Don't. They're not worth the time.
Yeah, they were saying things like, or why not answer questions, guys? We got like a 20,000. Now, poor Bo, but she got all the questions that were from Seth's live and put them in order, right? Bullet point, right? And then we were reading them off on the list. Okay, so I'm here to tell you, when people are trying to say that Seth wasn't asking or wasn't answering anybody's questions, that's not true. you know um it's just it's pure bullshit. um it's pure bullshit, and I ranted about it in my last live, but I just find that to be crazy, right? You know and Brad, I think that Mackenzie Shirilla is an awful person. I do want to do another live though, because I know she did try to appeal. Um, yeah, she did try to appeal, so it was like, oh. Um, I just hope that none of these people that appeal or get granted a new trial win them, right? Like even Letitia Stout, all those little nasties. It's like I mean, I get it. It's part of our. I hate to call it a justice system when we give the perpetrators more rights than the victims, but that's, I guess, our justice system works that way. Um, so, well, and there's things he can't answer, but that's why he had us make a list, and then he gave us the questions of what he thought was appropriate for us to ask, and we asked all of them, because some of them were like combined questions. Like there were a couple on there that were just like, how can we help? How can we get Sebastian's name out there? What can we do to help out with Sebastian's law? Just really great questions, right? Because people really do want to help. But then you had other questions from people that you could tell they didn't read the filing or they didn't quite understand it. But like some of those people, and I'm not going to name names off or anything, because again, I hold a wrench in Seth's chat. And I want to represent Sebastian well. And, but I know some of those people hang with the haters, and, they were asking like to be sly or whatever. And that's fine. It was still asked and answered for those people, right? Because it's not up to us to be like, well, we're going to ask Seth the questions. of the people that we like or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I was trying to um, just ask the ones, pick out the ones that, I liked. And then by the time our live was ending, Bullhorn Betty came off, and then Jen went off because Jen, goes to sleep earlier too. So Smiley and I were left up there. So I was just going back over and thinking, okay, what are the ones that we didn't ask earlier, that I don't remember being asked? And so was Smiley. So, but we got through the whole list and then some. Now, when I say and then some, I'm talking about we were picking questions from the chat, and we were picking questions from Smiley was being emailed some questions, right? And things of that nature. So Seth went above and beyond to answer people's questions. So if people are being such a freaking douchebag, right, about it, then they just need to grow the F up again. I mean, seriously, grow up and stop being a douchebag, because he doesn't owe you guys anything to answer your questions, but he's doing it so that way people have clarification. So there's more transparency. And that's precisely what he's been asking for of Sumner County, right? Is to be transparent and help find his son. So, oh no, it's okay, Brad. I know, honey. I know that. I know. I think Babs just doesn't like I think I think she doesn't like Sharilla. I saw the comments. But no, uh, I don't mind if you guys go off topic a little bit in chat, but yeah, the it's in litigation, and he really can't answer some questions that are going to be. I mean, most of it should have been about the pending litigation, right? I guess because that's where people were having. Well, that's what the live was about, right? But instead, again, Seth went above and beyond and was answering questions about the trash cans and the lights and all of that. I mean, there's still so many things that people. I mean, have questions about. Um, the trash can video is one of them. And again, that was a question where people were looking for quick clarification. Like I thought you said that you had seen um, Sebastian taking the trash out, and then Seth was like, well, I really took their word for it, right? Like I was taking their word for it. Um, at first, and agreeing with law enforcement and putting that out there, like what I was being told by law enforcement, so um yeah, be nice to each other and chat to you guys, please. Pretty please. um order in the chat, please. No, but I know that it's a hot button topic, and I understand too that we're really PO'd, right? Like it's so frustrating for Sebastian, and that's why I couldn't do the live with Don and Candace, is because I was so pissy about it, right? Like that they're not looking for Summer. They're talking about Mexican mafias and CPS working with the drug cartels, and CPS stealing their kids, and they stole Summer, and keeps talking about that. I couldn't do it. And it's just it's so frustrating that Sebastian has his father out here just like relentlessly looking for him and dealing with all of this stuff on top of it. It's just so upsetting. Aw, thank you, Babs. So yeah, it's just horrible. It's just I just wish that we had a better outcome for Sebastian. Um in the beginning, I gave all grace to Katie to hear her out, and no one wants to think a parent could hurt their child. I don't know if she did or not, but I have questions for her, and now some are answered. Well, I think that's really well said, Rosebud. And the thing is that I did too with Katie. It's like I couldn't tell if she was abused too. I knew that Chris was an abuser, right? And then he portrayed himself to be one in Smiley's. And I was like, oh, he is definitely a narcissist and an abuser. And so I started thinking to myself, is Katie scared to death and she knows that it was him, but maybe she doesn't know exactly what happened? Like in terms of Chris, you know, had something to do with it, but she didn't realize he did something, kind of a thing. I didn't know what happened. But I always knew that it was premeditated, even though I'm still not 100% on that. And that's the thing, is like the real core things in this case are not 100%. Um, so it's just, I don't know. It's nuts. So, um, but we just have so much to go off of now. With, like you said, some of these questions are answered, and we're getting more clarification on a lot of things. And I'm sorry, guys, if there's people out there that are really thinking that Chris and Katie are just 100% innocent, I would have to point them to the CPS reports, right, where we're actually seeing excerpts from them. And I think that they need to read the lawsuit themselves. Maybe just go to a quiet room and read it yourself. Don't listen to me read it to you. Don't listen to Smiley. Don't listen to Chasing. Don't listen to any of us read it to you. You take the physical paperwork and you read it yourself. And, altogether it's about 45 pages ish, right? And, I think it would be a good idea for some people to just really sit back and read it themselves and then think about what has been said. I just don't see how people can deny it.
They're not worth the time. Keep moving.
So, what other questions do we have about the lawsuit?
Let me see here.
Jen,
We got a few here. So, why is Life 360 data not released?
I don't have Life's 360. That family is the one that has Life 360.
Yeah, Chris and Katie are the ones that have Life 360. Why are you asking Seth about Life 360? Look, that's another thing I want to address. Seth showed his time cards to all of us. Seth took a polygraph test with Nancy Grace, with one of her FBI top dogs. Okay, and he's like one of the main guys that does it, right, for the FBI. And he passed. So, and the man came out and talked to us about Seth's test. Again, it's so stupid. It's like arguing with someone who's really stupid, or they're just refusing to admit that they're wrong. And those are the two main theories that I have on anybody that can't see that Seth wasn't involved in his son's disappearance. And furthermore, anybody that is, again, refusing to see what Sebastian went through and the abuse that Chris Proudfoot put him through. All of those hate channels should be coming out against Chris Proudfoot right now if they really care about Sebastian, but they're not. Instead, they're trolling his father like they have from the very beginning. It's disgusting.
I don't have.
You don't have access. It was never your thing. That's the answer. It was never. It was the Proudfoot thing. And that would be their question, right? If they control it, then it's your. That was probably the wrong. That's probably what I just realized that was missed because it probably didn't pertain to you. And I don't think you'd know this either. This is a good question from Stevie, but in all fairness, I don't think you're going to have the answer to it.
I'll ask the question.
Yeah, it says, why did Katie cancel a doctor's appointment for Sebastian a couple days before he went missing?
That's a good question. The reason that's a good question is because we're asking that question.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm hoping my attorney can get it answered. The real question is, here's my question. 8 days of ground searching from, 9 different agencies, but Sumner County already knew what was going on in that household, and yet they didn't even advise the other counties. I mean, we know that they didn't advise me. We know that DCS didn't advise me. The only person that was on the outside of this was me. Um,
Yeah, they wasted every bit of resources looking for Sebastian everywhere around his house in a, radius search around his house. They were expanding the radius search knowing all of this information. It's completely insane. And then Seth brings up a great point, and at no time did anybody ever tell these other agencies and all these people on horseback and ATVs and all of this stuff, right? That I mean, they knew all of this. So Sebastian was in an abusive household that he was in imminent danger of being taken out of, right? Like they were going to be taking him out of that house under Title 4. And for those of you that don't know about Title 4, just the short version is that under that the children that fit that criteria are to be taken out of the house and placed somewhere else. And they never let Sebastian's father know, who has joint legal and physical custody of Sebastian. Babs, and it's infuriating. It really is. It's so sad. Brad, I can't stand both of them. They're suspicious as hell. I know. And KDP, yeah, it's just crazy, yeah, Chris and Katie, I know. Well, and it's difficult because I don't like to um look, we can't go accusing people who haven't been arrested of doing something. But in the same way, if we look at the evidence that we have and we look at the statements that Chris and Katie have made, there is a lot of meat to this, right? Or teeth, as what the coffin-daffer said. There's your teeth, right? And here's some meat for them teeth. It's in it's the meat and potatoes, baby. That's the whole meal for you. You want some asparagus on the side? Because it's the whole shebang. And we know now that Sebastian Rogers was in a very difficult, horrible situation. I mean, I don't even know what to call it. It was horrific. It's like living in a nightmare, and he's stepping foot in that house every single day knowing. I mean, how long was he tortured for telling in the first place? Imminent danger. And it's scary as hell. It is like reasoning with the little, but I think that the littles could even get this witchy. Well, let me tell you a story. This scared the crap out of these little kids. One day, this boy was in the house with his mom, and all of a sudden, poof! No, that is a nightmare right there. And Katie acts like it's no big deal. It's just it's infuriating, Veronica. And if people aren't pissed, then I don't know what to do. Again, they have to seek some mental health for that. Because if you can't just admit that you're wrong and be like, you know what, I didn't believe that Chris and Katie. I mean, look, if we don't follow the facts, then we're going down the wrong path. And I would hate to do that. That's a huge waste of time for everyone. It certainly doesn't help us find Sebastian. So they're going to need to get with the program and just admit that what they were thinking about was wrong. Chris and Katie are obviously not the parents that they wanted us to see. You can't polish a turd any more than that. There's no more polish in that turd. That ship has sailed, right? It's flushed down the motherfucking toilet. Oh, gosh. So, yeah, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. And all the time I'm watching 48 Hours or this story or that story, and it just reminds me of Sebastian's case. There might be a detail. There might be something that I think, oh my gosh, that's just like Sebastian's case, But Sebastian's case is also very unique in the way that we have Chris and Katie Proudfoot, who have done all of this shit. Like, what parents do that? Don't show up to the vigils. Don't do this. Don't do that. We're not seeing them doing flyers, all of that. And again, I can't say 100% what they've done and what they've not done, but a lot of the things that they didn't do that I do know. I mean, for crying out loud, Katie Proudfoot changed her phone number. Is that not a red flag? I mean, it's fine to disagree with me, but shit, is that not a red flag? Stale bread and stagnant water might be in your future criminals, right? Exactly. Toilet water. Oh God, that's so disgusting. Ooh. Can you even imagine him riding the bus home every day and knowing what he was going to go through exactly when he gets home, and mom's letting it happen, right? I mean, I get that in this paperwork, there's nothing stating that Katie was um, involved in it, but we also seen how cold she was at dinner. Sebastian saying, "I don't think mom and Mr. Chris like me very much." Why would a beautiful little kid say that? And if he feels that way, it's up to his mom to tell him, I don't, Sebastian, if you're in trouble, I'm not mad at you, but I mean, in the same way, they were abusing him, and she was allowing for it. She didn't care what she felt like. Toilet martinis, Cinderella. Oh, shit. Oh, my gosh.
So
You know what, though? In all fairness, I've watched. I don't. Never mind. I don't want to get. Let's stop that. I'm about to go on off the thing, and I know that we don't want to go that way. So let me just ask another question. Do you know whether or not that appointment was rescheduled, or if it was just canceled, or you don't know? You just heard it was canceled.
it was just canceled. It was canceled.
And you know that for a fact. It was canceled, not rescheduled.
Correct.
Okay. How do we get the FBI to take over the case, Seth? That's a great question.
I've been trying. I've been trying for 2.5 years to have the FBI be head on this investigation.
Have you talked let me I don't know. Let me ask you this. When you've talked to your liaison or your FBI agent over there for the FBI on your son's case, have you asked them personally, like, are there any steps that I can take to maybe get you guys to be lead on this? Or
I haven't asked him.
okay.
Every time I speak to my liaison, we're talking about tips that are coming in, information
Right,
that
yeah.
me and my PI have gathered, and emails that we're sending him so that they can do what they need to do.
Gotcha, yeah.
I mean, I spoke to him. I've spoken to him. Today's Friday. Yes, I spoke to him this week. He knows about what's going on in the lawsuit and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And he advised me that he didn't care what I was doing in the court system. His job and his goal is to find Sebastian, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's exactly what we need, is for somebody to say they're committed to finding Sebastian. So big shout out to Seth's liaison from the FBI. And I'm rooting for you, praying for you. Seth says I haven't, but again, it isn't Monday yet, but I have reached out to Epps, Trump family, and Vance again. I can hope and pray for the best. Yes, Seth, absolutely. And I think it just takes a lot of reaching out over and over again. It's just incredibly awful that you have to do all of this, and I'm just glad you are, but I know that it's got to be really, really tough for you to have to, go through this. And, we're happy to help. And I think there's a lot of people too. We gave your email out a lot of times during this live for people. Hey, Scranton Strangler, good to see you. For people to reach out to you about, helping with Sebastian's Law, helping in other ways. Again, there was a lady that said she owns a couple trucking companies that she's going to give out flyers for them to pass out as they're going. I would like to see some magnets or something going out on those big rigs. So I'll have to screenshot and email it to you. But we are Sebastian's Army at gmail.com, no apostrophe. If you guys want to help, we are going to need a lot of people to come forward and help with Sebastian's Law, but also with just awareness, and if you even take the digital flyer and we put it down in here, it's pinned up to the top. If you in the live here in the chat, if you click that link, you can print that out, you can send a digital copy, like text it to your friends, right, and be like, hey, this is Sebastian, he's missing, could you please send it to 2 people, right? Even if you just ask a small ask, or if you know your friends will do it, be like, hey, send it to 5 and have your other friends send it to 5. That's how we can, work it out. I don't know if you guys ever saw the movie Pay It Forward, but that's what that movie was about. It was about, one person helping another person and that person paying it forward. The same thing goes for flyers, right? But you can just spread that awareness, be like, hey, kid. And it really is like phenomenal how fast it kind of like branches out and how fast you could spread awareness. That's how things go viral. We all understand that language. And so I would just encourage that. And, especially with this big push, um, we read the article, but Sebastian was in the LA news article that we read. And there's just so many ways that we can volunteer our time and resources. And if you know your state representatives, right, that's even better. Like if you're someone who regularly talks with those people, I'm not great at politicking, but I understand that it's necessary. But yeah, if you know someone and you can help in that way, if you rub elbows with them, so KDP, it is a great movie. And it's so crazy how, like, look at that. It was just like one person doing it. Right. And it's like if that one person helps another person, helps another person. So yeah, it's the same thing with the flyers. And, Summer also could use, flyers set out for her. Um, it's just a great way to do that. And especially also when kids first go missing, look at Javea Harris's case. I mean, she was found within a week, unfortunately, that poor little baby, how she was found. But the way that people spread the word about her so quickly. And again, the real Me Too was the one that said, lady, there's this little girl and she's missing and she's 4 years old. And I go and pull her up. And, we were covering that case right as it was happening. And, Bullhorn Betty went out there, boots on the ground. And, that's what it takes, is just, one person to say, hey, like, the real Me Too says, okay, lady, you got a platform over here. I got one for you. This little girl right here needs us. And, that's what's great about this community. So, yeah, we just have a great bunch of people.
Good, good. Well, that's what you want to hear. This one says, I'm local. Did you know Sumner County Sheriff's Office deputies were dispatched to arrive at the command post, aka Shackle Island Fire Department, at 5 a.m.? Did they know that early? I think that's might be incorrect information.
I don't know, because Sumner County didn't even bother to call Davidson County to even let me know that my son was missing. I mean, Sumner County did not. Sumner County and DCS, neither of those two agencies have a problem with communication, obviously, and
Yeah, they do.
it's out there. They don't communicate with me beforehand, and I've upset them enough with my questions and blatantly asking questions.
Well, that's bullshit, in my opinion. Not not Seth, but I mean that's bullshit. That you have to feel bad, Seth. You should never be sorry about it. You deserve to have answers, and too bad if they're annoyed. They'd be even more annoyed if they had to deal with my ass. I'll tell you that much right now. They'd be like, "Oh my god, here she comes," Um, yeah, and what's so Rosebud, this is interesting that you're saying this. because Jen and I figured out, because there was someone who was reporting a tip in her live too. So, like, if it happens during our live, we should be obligated to, report it. So maybe he will too. Um, and Bo, thank you for taking a screenshot of it, because yeah, we should report it. If she's got a picture, tell her report it to FBI, which I'm sure he did tell her that. Actually, I think he did when I was in there. I didn't listen to the whole live, um, but I will. Um, so that's interesting. Someone in Mom Crew's chat was requesting Seth's email, said she has a photo of Sebastian with an older man. Seth, did you get anything? I told her to call that TBI. Hope it wasn't a troll. Yeah, good job, Rosebud, because yeah, that's the only thing we're supposed to do. And thank you, Deborah. But I mean too, like, I would send it to Seth too, you know. So yeah. Thank you, Bo. That's awesome. Because yeah, I don't know. You never know, guys. I mean, it could be, it couldn't be, but because we don't know where Sebastian is.
That they don't want to answer.
Somebody asked me, is there still a open CPS case even though Sebastian's gone?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
There's an open DCS case concerning Sebastian.
Okay, so there's an open DCS case concerning Sebastian. And then, I've also been hearing different things about, we went over some of the neighbors or people who were speculating on Facebook had made a couple of comments. So I'm going to ask about that here.
Now, is that the one from February that they were talking about? I posted some Facebook posts, but you know how that goes. I mean, it could be hearsay, it could be coming straight from somebody who knows more, but that's what I've heard about it. And I don't know if you can answer that. I'm just asking.
What was your question again, Lady Freedom?
Sorry, Seth. No, I was just asking as it pertains to the CPS report. Is that because Chris was saying that there's an open CPS report because Sumner County Sheriff's Office had to report them because Sebastian was missing, and it's just standard protocol. But then I heard from some local people saying that there was one open since February, and that's my understanding, that it was already open before he went missing.
No. From my understanding, there is a case that was open because he went missing. And from my understanding, because I know nothing about the open case because it's an open case and DCS didn't give me any information about it.
Right.
I just know that it's open and it's been open since he went missing because he is missing. And I am pretty sure it's based off of all the previous DCS case records is the reason that they opened it when the child went missing.
Okay, so this is very interesting because I was talking the one night and I'm like, but why would they report Chris and Katie if there was no child in the house anymore, right? Like, why would DCS get involved? But it does make sense now that Seth confirmed that, because they ended up doing that FAST 2.0, right? And that was from March 1st through 5th of 2024. So the fact that they did that, I was like, oh, okay. So they're assessing the family, right? And redoing that, assessment. And that's what might have spurred them to do the assessment, right? Now that took a little bit longer. I don't understand why it had to take till March 1st to do that. They should have done that on, and this is speaking to the negligence, that this is speaking to the gross negligence, in my opinion. because they were well aware. They should have, absolutely, as soon as they were notified, right? But when were they notified? When did it turn? When was it? When was that place then? And that's what I should have asked as a follow up question. Again, as I processed through, and I watched this earlier too. I wanted to watch it again before we went live. And then of course I watched Mob Crew review it. So, but I mean, I'm just wondering, because I think this is a great live, and I really appreciate Seth, clarifying these things for us. So by no means am I like, okay, but here's another question, but it makes me wonder exactly why it took that long, right? Because and then they did the landfill search on on March 7th, right? So Sebastian goes missing um, between the 25th and 26th, right? Last proof of life is at the Texas Roadhouse, leaving the Texas Roadhouse with his mom around 6:30 p.m. And then we have, the next morning, her reporting Sebastian missing, calls coming in at 6:33 a.m. And then we have, the whole day, the 26th, the 27th, 28th, 29th, right? Because it was a leap year. And then we have the 1st of March. So 5 days later, they're doing an assessment that takes 5 days to complete, because that was from the 1st to the 5th, that completed on the 5th. And then they did the landfill search 2 days after that. It's just, like I said, it's just so unfortunate. So, hey, Lover Girl. Lover Girl says, did Tony say on the E's there was an open report in late January, early February? Yes, he did. I thought he did, so I'm confused. So, yeah, so now we only know about the two, the one in 2022 and the one in 2023. And then there was another 2023 one, Tony said, and then another one in the beginning. So that would have been 4. Now the 5th one was reported. That's how the time frame fits together for me anyway, because of Sebastian going missing. So ding, 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 ding. Chris Proudfoot was telling the truth. So what we need to do is use that as a baseline and go back and listen to him telling the truth, right? We need to hear him telling the truth and what it sounds like when he's being truthful. That way we can compare it to the statements where he's either talking out of his ass or being truthful or lying his ass off. It's one of the three all the time with him. But we can establish, that's why it's important to listen to Seth too, because we can establish baseline behaviors and his mannerisms by when the story matches up, right? Like all parents saying that Sebastian doesn't like to get dirty. Chris and Katie have never conceded the point that Sebastian would never leave without his shoes on, but that's because they screwed up. The shoes are the biggest mistake that Chris and Katie Proudfoot ever could have made, in my opinion. That's their number one biggest screw up.
Which of my
other than thinking and underestimating Seth and Sebastian and thinking that no one was going to care and that everyone would forget. They totally underestimated Seth and Sebastian.
my opinion, if they had just let me know that my son was going through some of the stuff that he was, if they had just called and told me, we wouldn't be on panel right now talking about my missing son, because my son wouldn't be missing. I wouldn't be here. It's Friday. We would be at the game shop playing Magic the Gathering, toning up our decks to get ready for the tournament, because there would have been a tournament tonight and there would be a tournament tomorrow, and on Sunday there would be another tournament for Magic the Gathering, and it would have been a Commander tournament, and that's what we would have been getting ready for. Wednesday we would have been playing D&D. Thursday we would have gotten our decks ready to go play in tournaments on Friday and Saturday and then Sunday. Unless he didn't want to be in the tournaments. wouldn't have really mattered.
Thank you for clarifying that because I know there were some questions, and yeah, I appreciate that.
Autumn's Ashes is asking, is there strong indication that Sebastian is still in Tennessee, or do you think he could be in another state?
The only thing I can state about that is because I can't get into the tips and stuff, is that we have had tips from outside of Tennessee. We've had some tips that the FBI agents thought it was Sebastian, and we're on it. I mean, we've had tips in New Mexico, in Albuquerque. We've had tips that have taken us to Columbus, Ohio. I've had tips that have taken me to Missouri. I've had tips that have taken me to Virginia. I've had several tips that are just literally on the border of Kansas. I mean, not Kansas, Tennessee, and a neighboring state.
All right, guys. And I want you guys to listen to that part, and let it really sink in. Hey, Kylie's nail candy. Look, guys, and Seth says it in this live too. The FBI is getting leads from the flyers. So anybody that's passing these flyers out, right, digital or paper copies, or you hang them up, you get permission to hang them, and people see them. Look, people are calling in tips from all over the place, and it's because of the flyers being passed out, right? So just think about that. And anytime that you have posted a flyer or passed one along digitally, you're helping to bring in new tips and leads for Sebastian Rogers. Now, they haven't led us to Sebastian yet, but that doesn't mean that they never will. And the awareness is key, right? So people know his story. So people are still asking, hey, I wonder what happened to that sweet boy Sebastian. Why has he not been found? Oh, look, his father is, involved in a civil lawsuit because his son is still missing, and he doesn't feel like Sebastian has gotten a fair investigation. And by the way, he's suing CPS because they all knew that Sebastian was in a dangerous situation living with his stepfoot and mother, Katie Proudfoot, who allowed for Sebastian to be abused. I want everyone and their mother to know about that, and their father too. For Sebastian, he deserves to have justice.
But if I can't make it there within, a 10-hour drive or something to get to the law enforcement department to hand out flyers, then we send an email with all the information that we've gathered, and we send it to the FBI, let's say. We're also in communication with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. So when they get tips, they send it to the FBI. When I call them and ask them about tips, they let me know what tips have been coming in.
Big shout out to the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children. But perk up, guys, because we're about to get a nugget here.
I'm the only parent that's been reaching out to National Missing and Exploited Children. The other has not, and that's just information that's been told me by from the National Center, is that they can only discuss tips with the parents, FBI, law enforcement, and the parents. And I'm the only parent that they discuss the tips with, because I'm the only parent that's actually called them.
I'm not sure if you can answer this or not, but this is from Mr. and Mrs. Froggy. Just wanted to ask to clarify whether LE ever specifically said CP or KP took and passed the polygraph. Do you have any information on that you can share? I don't know if you're able to share any information.
I do know that Sebastian's mom was taken by TBI to do a polygraph. And I do know that
she didn't deny it or, ask for an attorney or anything like that.
No, Chris lost his when they brought her back, because TBI didn't tell Chris that they were taking Katie.
Gotcha.
And he was pretty upset that she didn't call and tell him that.
When was this? Like, was this within the first 3 days?
Yeah, this is day 2.
So you were there when all this happened. So you saw Chris lose his shit.
Oh yeah.
And I've seen Chris lose his shit outside of the courthouse, so I kind of know what he looks like when he loses his shit.
Yeah, because he usually he'll lose his shit behind the avatar, right? Like, I'm using my avatar here, I'm using it in Seth's panel. He'll do it like that, so we don't actually see him losing his shit. But Betty has witnessed him losing it, and so is his dad, Sebastian's father, Seth, and so has everybody. Let's listen back to that really quick.
To get to the law enforcement department to hand out flyers. Then we sent an email with all the information that we've gathered, and we sent it to the FBI, let's say. We're also in communication with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. So when they get tips, they send it to the FBI. When I call them and ask them about tips, they let me know what tips have been coming in. I'm the only parent that's been reaching out to National Missing and Exploited Children. The other has not, and that's just information that's been told me by the, from the National Center, is that they can only discuss tips with the parents, FBI, law enforcement, and the parents. And I'm the only parent that they discussed the tips with, because I'm the only parent that's actually called them.
I'm not sure if you can answer this or not, but this is from Mr. and Mrs. Froggy. Just wanted to ask to clarify whether LE ever specifically said CP or KP took and passed the polygraph. Do you have any information on that you can share? I don't know if you're able to share any information.
I do know that Sebastian's mom was taken by TBI to do a polygraph. And I do know that
she didn't deny it or, ask for an attorney or anything like that.
No, Chris lost his when they brought her back, because TBI didn't tell Chris that they were taking Katie.
Got it.
Oh, TBI didn't tell Chris that they were taking Katie. I wonder why. Had they lost their shit in private? Had he lost his shit, rather, in private with someone from the TBI, and so they already knew that was going to cause him to lose his shit? Or did Chris Proudfoot tell them that he didn't want his wife taking a polygraph test? That's interesting. Because Chris Proudfoot told Nancy Grace on her show that he wasn't asked to take a polygraph because of his location. They didn't need him to take one. So I find that to be very interesting right there in and of itself. Wow. So he lost his shit.
Gotcha.
And he was pretty upset that she didn't call and tell him that.
When was this? Like, was this within the first 3 days?
Yeah, this is day 2.
So you were there when all this happened. So you saw Chris lose his shit.
Oh yeah.
And I've seen Chris lose his shit outside of the courthouse, so I kind of know what he looks like when he loses his shit.
Yeah, in his house, walking out the front door, extremely mad and angry, and started yelling at Katie,
In front of everybody?
Oh yeah, in front of the TV.
Wow. In front of everybody, he started yelling at Katie for going to take a polygraph test. What was she supposed to do if they come and knocking and say, Katie, we need you to take a polygraph test? So that's interesting. So the TBI came and got Katie and hauled her off to take a polygraph test. Very, very, very interesting. So we know that the TBI did a slight interrogation with Katie alone then, don't we, because of this?
Door, extremely mad and angry, and started yelling at Katie,
In front of everybody?
Oh yeah, in front of the TBI, everything. I mean, they've all seen him lose his, and they don't care.
And none of them even thought, oh my gosh, this child that has these disabilities is living with somebody like that? Not one
Hello.
time did that.
I mean,
Oh my.
that he,
That's already documented in these papers, and it's just
Smiley.
fine and dandy, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, no
got
evidence of
caffeine.
foul play. No
Who's
evidence
saw?
Maybe Kath,
whatsoever.
maybe I should have went with you.
woo
Kath.
saw.
All right, so Seth ended, okay, the whole panel blew up. You got all of us hens cackling over there, squawking, because we just can't even believe it. We were like, oh hell no. And then, Seth's like, okay, everybody, woosah, woosah. I'm going goose fraba, right? Because I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna need anger management because of Chris Proudfoot, right? Oh my gosh, he's horrible. He is so horrible, and he's out there yelling at Katie, and we're like, wait a minute, what? I mean, ooh, bombshell.
Okay.
Woo saw.
I see what you're
Sorry, sorry.
talking about.
Woo saw. Yeah, no, they saw it. I mean, obviously, it's documented in these records. I mean, the DCS agent obviously had to believe that neighbor to write that down in the report. I
Yep.
mean,
Sad.
yeah, I don't believe anything that comes out of
Ooh, that's a great
Craddock's mouth, unfortunately. He hasn't earned my trust for me to believe anything that comes out of his mouth.
I know you can't go into details, but did you see Eric Craddock that day, the day your son disappeared? Did you speak to him at all? Did he come and talk to you, or was he just in the command center and only taking like interviews and stuff like that? Like, what was Eric Craddock actually doing out there? What did you witness him doing out there? I'm just curious.
Standing on his soapbox.
So he really wasn't engaging. He wasn't really providing like instructions to his people. He was just basically in front of the camera.
That I saw him, in front of the news crews.
Gotcha. Okay.
When I finally spoke with him, they were pretty adamant about not speaking to the news media. Let them handle that. They'll take care of the news. And I was just like, that's fine, because I'm looking for my son. I really wasn't, I thought they were going to be spreading the awareness that he's missing. But then again, they didn't have pictures of my boy up. So
Yeah. I'm going to ask one more question, and then the girls can ask, and maybe they can interchange questions. I'm starting to get tired. It's starting to get harder to read. I'm exhausted.
well, maybe stop having syrup in your coffee and just have some more coffee in your coffee.
Oh, stop it. SI officer asks, Seth, my question to you. The day of Sebastian's disappearance, do you remember seeing any of the little dogs? If you even remember, thank you. That's a good question, because
the little.
were they loose? Were they contained? Were they in their kennel? Like where were the dogs?
Kennels. I mean,
When you first walked in, if you don't mind.
They were in their little pen back there in the back.
And were they yappy the whole time?
They were.
So you could hear.
Yeah, well, Sebastian loved those puppies. And then he's not there. I mean, animals go through a lot of the same feelings that we go through when, our loved ones go missing. All of a sudden, there's somebody missing. Not to mention, dogs can pick up on everybody's demeanor and, what's going on in their life. If you're stressed out, dogs can feel that, you know, dogs can feel that you're stressed out. They know when something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they do 1,000,000%. I bet you Sebastian's puppies miss him so much to this day. I bet you anybody says his name and they're looking for him. That's how much dogs love their owners. They just love them to pieces. They're loyal animals. That breaks my heart, Seth. Like seriously, again, I muted myself a lot because there were just times in this live that I lost it because it's just so sad. You know, so sad. Yeah, he may have too. Tree baby Tennessee. Good to see you. Yeah, he should have, and he could have. I don't know what to think about the scratches, the bites. I'm not sure. Um, but oh no, did you get timed out? Love it, girl. Why? Right, maybe somebody accidentally hit a button. Thank you, Seth. But yeah, so it's just there's just so many things here that we just never consider, right? Like how it affects the little doggies. So thank you, Seth. Again, you're Sebastian's voice because that's who Sebastian would care about, right? His animals. He loves animals. And, his animals love him. If only we could ask them what happened.
I have a couple of follow-up questions to that, if you don't mind, since they were on my panel and that kind of come up. And Chris said I kind of threw him on that question. Um, do you remember when he came home that day and he said, first of all, I want to ask you, do you remember this kind of a two-part question? Like, I always wondered what he had on when he come in. Did he have on long sleeves? I know you
Good
probably wasn't paying
question.
attention, but did he have on long sleeves or a coat or whatever? And I want to follow up with the question Betty just asked and ask, do you recall him at any point when you were there, um, him getting down on the floor and playing with those two little dogs?
I've never seen him play with those dogs.
Because remember in my interview, he stated that's where he got the little bites.
I know.
And the scratches all over his arm.
I
Yes.
And and I went back because people were saying they were bite marks. I'm not sure if those were bite marks, but I don't know. I don't know, but they're definitely scratches because when we were searching for a few people, back out there in the woods and the swamps and stuff, there's all kinds of crap that have like prickers on them, some having long thorns, and
Mhm.
you get back there and it just tears your rear end up.
Yeah. My arms
So,
with
It sure does. It sure does. And I'll tell you what, when we were searching for Sebastian, I guess they're called brambles, little brambles. And I'll tell you, I called them prickly little shits or something because I was like, it's just, they get you. You're just walking and it's like, they're like, nope, you're not going any further, right? And they just like kind of latch onto you.
if those are bite marks, but I don't know. I don't know, but they're definitely scratches because when we were
Well, and I'm going to tell you what, it scares me when I hear that part because Chris was saying, well, Sebastian was probably, unalived in the woods. He said that to the Hatfield and McCoy people, and Fred and Sheila. He said that to them, and that's horrible. And then you have these brambles, and it's like, if he was in them woods, he could have gotten scratched that way too. Because I know I did, and it takes a little while for them to heal. Let me tell you. I hate that though. I hate that so much. And they could have been scratches from branches. Oh my god. I mean, Chris Proudfoot needs arrested. I'm sorry. I'm not even going to say in my opinion.
searching for a few people, back out there in the woods and the swamps and stuff, there's all kinds of crap that have like prickers on them. Some have
And really, I hate to go back to this, but who in the hell is allowing for him to do this over at the TBI? Who is allowing for him to do this? He was there, yelling and screaming at Katie in front of them and telling them how to do their job. And then he was telling people on YouTube, let's get them on the phone. I'll get Bobby and Carter on the phone and we'll all have this little effing powwow. Yeah, because he had dirt on them, because he knew that they all knew that Sebastian was in danger living there. It all makes sense now. It's crystal clear.
Having long thorns, and
Mhm.
you get back there and it just tears your rear end up.
Yeah, my arms
So,
with my
Sure
dogs
does.
all the time to this day, and I'm older, but I get all these little scratches and stuff on mine when they greet me and all this kind of stuff. But it just made me think about what he said because of what you or that question that was just asked that Betty talked about. So I did
Yeah,
want to follow up with that.
I do not remember what he was wearing. I mean,
Yeah, I wondered if when he come in, what he
I
had on,
knew
and the police,
everything that
I'm
I
sure they
know.
wasn't. Yeah.
If I knew everything I know now,
Yes.
if I knew it then, I mean, I would have been paying more attention to what people are wearing instead of just trying to find out what happened to my son.
Exactly. Okay. Thank you for that.
Sad that he has to think that way.
Yeah, those brambles can really tear you up. That's for sure.
yeah.
I
Not as
don't
bad
want to
as
go
gators.
not as bad as Gator. Hey, I'm still like clearing my throat and a little bit of issues there. Seth, if you don't mind, earlier I saw Ward case files had asked about the trash can video, right? That Ellie says that the neighbor's ring cam caught Sebastian taking out the trash after they got back from the Texas Roadhouse. Um, and I know this probably goes back to trust in law enforcement, but can you explain, like in the beginning, how that all happened? Because she was asking about that. I don't remember your question specifically. I apologize.
I do know that while I was there for the first 3 days, that the neighbor literally came across the street and showed everybody, showed Chris and Katie that they had a ring camera footage of somebody out front. I never got to see it because they didn't show it to me. I got to see it when law enforcement showed it to me, and it's so dark you can't even tell that somebody is out there. All you do, it's literally Peter Pan's shadow. It's just a shadow. That's all you can see on there. It's not clearing up. You can't see the height of the person. You can't see, any type of distinguishing characteristics because it's literally so dark and grainy from that room that you just see a flicker of a shadow. You don't even see the
Right.
person.
Well, let me ask you this: Did she had she already said that Sebastian went out to the garbage can before the lady brought the tape over?
Yes.
Okay.
Unapologetically, Nix from TikTok wants to know.
Is that Nick's? Well, how
Yeah.
No, that's something I didn't I didn't catch while we were live. So Katie was telling everyone that Sebastian took the trash out before the lady brought the video over. So I think that's interesting too.
Nick's, hey!
Yeah. She wants to know, were you able to confirm that they served a search warrant for the home 1 year later at the time of the court hearing when Betty versed Chris? Can you say that it was true or not? Do you know?
I can't because I can't. I mean, I don't know what was served to them. Sumner County definitely isn't going to tell me what they're serving. And the only way that they tell me anything that's being served is if they're trying to serve me.
Okay, thank you.
And
Now,
Seth, also, I want to. Oh, sorry. You go ahead. You go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
where's that mute button? There it is.
Yeah, Seth
And now I
muted me,
lost
by the way.
Thanks, Lady Freedom.
Because I made him lose his train of thought. I apologize. It's hard when you're up there because you're not sure who to. You're not really sure who's going to talk next, but I asked part of that question and then I realized, wait, there was the other part that because I didn't write it down or screenshot it. I just saw it towards the beginning of the live, so that was funny.
You know, now I kind of thought,
You're welcome.
what? What?
Don't pay attention to chat.
Oh, I'm not. I'm literally just trying to retry. I'm trying to get my brain back together. But no, Sumner County during discovery, I might be able to find that information out, but that's further down the road.
I've got one for you, Seth.
I'm pretty sure you guys have more than one.
One that you sent me. I think it's an interesting question. It says, did your son ever speak about a doctor on base? This is from Sabrina GP in
When
the
we were
know.
in California, yes, he was seeing the doctor. He was seeing a therapist. He saw a doctor on base. He saw a therapist on base. The therapist is the one. The therapist he was seeing was the one that I did not approve of because she didn't have the proper credentials to deal with exactly what Sebastian was going through. She was a child therapist, but she was not specialized in what Sebastian was going through.
And Seth has said this from the beginning. I remember him telling that to Pascal, and also I believe it was to Justin. Used to be Justin on TikTok. Now he's just in the nick of time, or I'm sorry, just in the nick of crime. So he said this from the very beginning. Again, Seth doesn't have many inconsistent statements, in my opinion. He just tells it like it is, and then he will also even repeat it if needed. And in this point, in this case, he did have that question. So, the doctors on base aren't usually the greatest specialists, and it's like Sebastian needed a specialist, in my opinion, because of his autism and his chromosome deletion, and trying to work through the trauma. Also, he has layers that he's dealing with, and you really do need someone who specializes in a particular area in that case. And so one thing I've always appreciated about Seth as a parent is that he tries to get Sebastian the best he can. And in that situation, you would need somebody that can absolutely help a situation, not make it worse, because they don't, because they're ill-equipped to handle it.
She didn't have anything. Her certifications were definitely not dealing with Sebastian's chromosomal deletion or his autism or the fact that he had been SA'd.
Do you think that they would let you look at that video of Sebastian at the garbage cans again? Do you think you could get a picture of that possibly, or a screenshot of that possibly?
They won't let me see any of that information. I've asked before,
Just thought I'd throw that out. SI officer was asking that, and that was just a follow-up question on something else. So I just wanted to throw that in there. You're welcome.
I mean, I'd love to have all these videos so that I could go over them.
Yeah.
Not share them, just so I could go over them and see if I can see something.
Does Sebastian need his glasses at all time to see?
No.
No.
Sebastian's glasses were mainly because he has what they call a lazy eye. It's not the medical term for it, but he had a lazy eye, and the glasses were supposed to help correct his lazy eye to get it to come over, and they're supposed to just strengthen up the eye muscle. They had told us that we could do surgery or we could do glasses, and I'm always up for the least invasive procedure.
Right.
Yeah, I would rather do corrective, eyewear than a whole surgery, especially for a kid, because those things, as you grow up, you can grow out of that too. It's easier to have to get that correction when you're younger. um you know that is one thing that really stands out to me and gives me hope, is the fact that Sebastian has his glasses with him, even though he didn't need them, to see particularly, but they were more corrective lenses. I still am glad that, he has the glasses, because it makes me think that, they sent him someplace, possibly carrying him out in the middle of the night, like I think they did. But I just wanted to point that out.
But and I mean, when they told us about it, it was more like, what's the, if he has the surgery, will it correct it for the rest of, and they're like, surgery won't correct it for the rest of his life. He'll have to have surgery again and again. And that's like, well, glasses then.
Yeah.
You
That's
know.
why my parents
There's another lady
just-
she had a red pen. She had surgery, and then she had a red pen that she had to use.
No, but with my hearing, and I think you were right about that, because the reason why they didn't do surgery on my ear is because they said there might be technology later in the future, because sometimes you only get one opportunity to.
Yeah, and I'm. It's the same thing with with the chest plate and everything that he was wearing. It's, you could have surgery or you could do a chest plate and you have to wear it a couple years. You got a question, don't you, Betty?
Yes, I was going to say, because there was the photo that was going around with your son having the chest plate on, and I know you told me a while back that he no longer uses that chest plate. I thought it was just interesting now that you brought it up again. You might want to remind everybody he hasn't used the chest plate in a really long time, so if they have that question as well.
Parents know that we force things on our children. I'm the one that forced the chest plate on him. I'm the one that brought it up to the doctor. I'm the one that showed it to him, and they're like, well, his cartilage was growing faster than his body was, and it was just, there can be complications from it. And the whole thing was trying to get, the chest plate was supposed to hold it in while the rest of it would grow out, and it was uncomfortable for him, which I can understand. It's uncomfortable. You kind of gotta wear it to get used to it, and he just pretty much refused, and it became a sore issue between him and his mom. And I mean, my whole thing was, well, just make him wear it. Wearing it, he's supposed to wear it for a couple hours a day and increase the time that he's wearing it until he's literally wearing it all day, and you're supposed to wear it in your sleep. And Sebastian was like, I don't want to wear it. And it's like, well, at that point in time, he ain't gonna wear it. So there's nothing you can really do about it except for say, okay.
Yeah, I'm done. So you guys have a good night. But I'm going to be yawning all over you, and I know you got important stuff, and I think it's just kind of rude for me to be yawning. But my eyes are starting to water, and I'm tired. That like.
All right, so Betty's going to hop off the panel. So this is interesting because, again, Seth has told us this for a while now. We've known this for a while. I can't remember exactly when he explained the chest plate. And, there's a great picture of Sebastian. It's one of my favorite ones because he's you could tell he's not happy about having his picture taken with the chest plate, and hearing that he doesn't like it, he didn't want to wear it. You could tell that he was kind of it was a little spicy picture of Sebastian, right? Like, he's smiling, but he's like, you could tell there's just something more going on, now that we know, right? But either way, he didn't like the chest plate. But last time Seth told us, he just basically said, Sebastian didn't want to wear it, so I didn't force him. But this makes more sense too, in terms of, especially as your kids get older, you cannot make them do anything really. You can guide them in the right direction and, ask that they do things, but at the end of the day, they're going to do what they're going to do. And so, but this made more sense to me that Sebastian, didn't want to have to wear it all the time, didn't really like wearing it at all. And again, you just can't force them to do it. So I thought that was interesting too. And, I mean, Sebastian just was going through a lot, and it just breaks my heart.
Like I said, even if I drink coffee as strong as this coffee is, it doesn't keep me awake. When my body's ready to go to sleep, it's ready to go to sleep. So
That's because you're not drinking real coffee.
I beg to differ.
Is the consistency of mud. You should be able to paint with, real coffee.
Mm-hmm. You all have a wonderful night. Thank you for answering some questions for everybody, and I know you guys will continue. I don't know. Do I have any questions of my own? Well, I guess if I had any questions of my own, I can ask you. I don't need to broadcast it. So, anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great night.
Mental note.
Have a great night.
Thank you, Miss Betty.
Night, Betty.
Seth, I just had a follow-up question about the trash can video. So did law enforcement was telling you that they could see Sebastian. So you kind of, in the beginning, I think it was on Pascal, someone was referring to that, that you thought it was Sebastian, right? You were kind of taking their word for it, or am I misinterpreting that?
At the beginning, I took law enforcement at their word. But when I saw the video, I was just, how can you tell? This is my son we're talking about, and I can't tell that that's my son. So I kind of didn't understand how law enforcement, not knowing my child, could tell me that that was my son. And I couldn't make it out that it was him. It was too dark. It was grainy. Like I said, it's a fleeting shadow is all you really see. And I just didn't understand how they could sit there and tell me stuff. But then again, as time has progressed, I've realized that they've told me things that aren't true.
Sure. Well, and I remember being in Pascal's chat, and everyone was like, "Well, did you get to see that trash video, or pertaining to the trash truck?" That they were saying, law enforcement was saying the lights video was a trash truck, and that's what it was in the neighborhood. And don't fret, it's just a trash truck. But then people were pointing out that where the lights were located in that video
cannot be a vehicle.
Can't, right? Because there's that big ditch, and it's the common area.
It could be a vehicle. It is surely not a trash truck.
Yeah, it's a big ass trash truck that I hear. Sorry, big butt trash truck.
Yeah, this ain't night court.
Sorry, I know. I'm trying to behave over here. No, but I appreciate you clarifying that, because I know that was part of that question, and I thought of it after the fact. So thank you.
That's fine. Jen?
Good questions, though.
Yes.
Any more questions?
Rosebud asked, Seth, will the discovery reveal more of the notes from the therapist and Sebastian's meetings, possibly?
I have all of those. I don't need discovery for those.
Okay.
And they're just as horrible as DCS.
All right.
And yes, Sumner County has them. And to me, it seems as whoever was supposed, somebody should have been going over those notes and they should have been on it as well, and they weren't. I don't understand why they didn't reach out and talk to me, because they knew I existed too. I took him to his appointments.
Yeah.
You know, this is the doctor and the place that the mental health co-op, which is right there in Sumner County. Um, that was his doctor that I went in, and I told him, hey, I pointed out the chest. I talked to this doctor about his previous altercations in California, and she didn't even know about them. Um, so yeah, I know somebody wasn't happy about that, because they were like, well, we told them. And I'm like, well, she told me that she did not know any of this information that I'm telling her. And doctor doesn't really have a reason to lie to me. Not to mention that after I spoke to the doctor and told him everything that was going on with Sebastian prior, and then all of a sudden we had the appointment to get in to see about getting him measured for the chest plate. We started getting. That's when they started sending, the lady to the house to speak to Sebastian a couple times a week. And I'd have to say that if the doctor knew about it before me saying anything, that stuff would have been happening prior.
All right.
The real
Call
me
the
too.
animal 8303. I'm sorry.
All right.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Lady Freedom. Or Smiley.
The real me too said, isn't it true that Chris was not supposed to be there when Sebastian went missing?
The DCS records have been redacted, so they have. I couldn't answer that question, and if I did know, I still wouldn't be able to answer that question, because that would be discussing something in the DCS records that are not in the file.
Yeah, I think that's something me and a lot of the other creators have went over and read, and I didn't see that anywhere factually that was put out in public. So if it's not put out, it'll either come out later on if this goes through, or it's just something Seth cannot answer. And we don't know. None of us creators know. I'm going to reiterate this. None of us creators have seen, not Betty, not me, not Justin, not nobody has saw these DCS papers. We don't know what's in them.
Freedom hasn't. Jen hasn't.
No, God, no.
I have.
I mean, no. If we're good people, we're going to tell you not to do that, right? We're going to be like, even if, I mean, no, hell no. Sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was like, this was something that had been going around. I don't know how it got started or what. But it was said that, like somebody had said Seth gave certain creators, ability to see those. Well, he's not supposed to show anybody. So, if one of us was to take those, it just would be wrong all the way around, right? Because those are sealed confidential documents. So even if we were to accept those, I mean, I would think that we would be in trouble for even having them. And again, Seth has never put any of us in that position, nor himself, or jeopardized Sebastian in any way, in my opinion. And, I hate even having to say in my opinion, but, I mean, it's just foolish. And what it comes from is somebody had to have just been, jealous or just being a jerk about things. And that's my only guess as to why somebody would say something like that. It's absolutely preposterous. It's rude. Talk about, I don't know, blaming someone who's innocent of something and saying they did something they didn't do. I certainly don't want to be brought into that. And, I don't know. It's just sad. It's just sad all the way around.
So it looks like Rosebud has a follow-up question. She says, so in my understanding, you knew he was getting help to deal with the CA trauma, the California trauma. But during all that, COS reports were active but not revealed to you.
Correct. The DCS reports were, like I said, the only reason I knew about the first one was because the SRO for that school had called me, and I had to have a meeting with him, and I had a conversation with him for about 45 minutes, and then, you know, without anybody else around, he actually pulled everybody in individually and spoke to us. And that's the only reason I know anything about the first DCS report.
And that was in California, right? That was
Yeah.
in, yes.
No,
So that,
the first DCS report here in Tennessee.
oh, in Tennessee. Okay. Just to
is because,
clarify.
yeah, is because the SRO officer reached out and called me. They had my phone number. So he called me to the school and spoke to me about what Sebastian stated. And I told him what happened in California.
Okay, guys. So the school resource officer told Seth that there was something going on. So I know he said the RSO, but that's a school resource officer, just because, you know, the acronyms and things, just in case somebody didn't know. But again, it's just so sad that Sebastian was going through all of this and then they were keeping it from Seth. Luckily, this part was disclosed, so he understood some of what was going on in terms of Sebastian dealing with some difficulties about what happened in California, because he was really going through it, guys. Oh my goodness.
Gotcha.
Jackie T2008 asks, Seth, what were your feelings on any specific behavior interactions between Sebastian and mom shown in video at Texas Roadhouse? What were your feelings on any behavior, anything that you saw when you saw Sebastian? Was there anything that you felt or anything that you thought, I don't know, to get the egg?
Watching that video, he was not happy to be there. He wasn't happy to. It seemed like he wasn't happy to even be in her presence. I mean, he doesn't act like that when we would go out to dinner. I mean, he would be smiling, laughing. We'd have conversations, or he'd have my phone. At which point in time, I'd give him a hard time because it's like, you're over there on my phone playing video games, and I'm stuck over here watching you, and I can't even see you playing the video game.
Right.
Why don't you come over here and play on my phone that you're doing anyways, but come over here so I can watch. And I mean, as soon as food came out, he would put my phone down, and then we'd sit there and eat, have a conversation. I just
The homicidal thoughts or whatever that was, and
that was literally reported in California. He had just been through a very traumatic incident, and he was at the school, and that's why it got reported, because he had turned around and told the teacher that he was just going to go back to the house and cut his heart out.
Mm.
Oh my goodness.
And I lost it when I found out, and I chewed that school psychiatrist up and down. I screamed at the teacher. I was like, so a child says that they're going to go home, that their living environment is enough that they just want to cut their own heart out, and you send them to that environment. You don't call me. for me to come pick him up because he's not talking about it at my house. He knows where he's going when he gets out of school. He's going to his mom's house. I was highly upset and irate. But then again, in California, the teachers really don't listen to the parents. The teachers were adamant about Sebastian needing to be on medication. And I was adamant about, well, why don't you just give him a cup of coffee and let him drink that? Help. It's a temporary, but you're not giving my son medication that's going to stay in his system for days.
I just think it's so sad that Sebastian said that and that he felt that way. And, hearing that as a mom, and Sebastian's not, even my son. And I just can't believe that Katie wouldn't give a damn about him saying that. That is just so heartbreaking. And, that is one piece of this live that is stuck with me. Other than the fact that Seth says that at the bowling alley, Sebastian didn't look very happy either. At the dinner table, he wasn't interacting like he usually does, like Seth knows him to interact. Yeah, I don't know if that doesn't get your heart, that Sebastian was so distraught over what happened to him that he wanted to rip his own heart out. Again, people are heartless fools if they are not paying attention to that, and if they do not sympathize, empathize, just feel so sad for what Sebastian was going through, that they don't have a soul, in my opinion. I'm sorry, you need mental help if you can't look at that and say that little boy needed specialized help. Poor Sebastian.
And then he has to continue to take it for days. And I'm more about homeopathic stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want him to have stuff in his system that could change him, because you don't know how the medication is going to affect him. You don't know if it's going to, anything to do with ADHD, most of that stuff is legalized speed.
Well, and he's got the, chromosomal deletion. So it's very rare, and it's not, nobody.
Guys, and we looked over the Concerta. We looked up what that is and how strong and potent that is. It's like Ritalin. It's very, very strong, and it is something that I don't blame Seth for not approving of, in my opinion. It's some heavy duty stuff, and again, it's just an epic failure, in my opinion.
He has really, it's a genetics study, and it's very rare. So with that deletion, we just, you just don't know.
It's a
interaction
deletion. You can't repair it.
Right.
It's something that it will take learned response, and it will take coaching on getting him to understand how to move past the personal hurdles that he's going to have in life. Medicine doesn't fix if you're missing a chromosome or if you have an extra one. And, pharmaceutical companies don't fix everything.
Hey, Claudia.
Right. Definitely not.
They make a lot more. I'm sorry, wait a minute. Am I supposed to be claiming the fifth on this 111 times?
Like Fauci. Lover Girl. Yeah. Lover Girl said that part really stuck with me too, Lady Freedom. I hate to think about how badly he must have been feeling to say that. It makes me want to rip my heart out, it is so sad. It is so sad. Bab says what breaks my heart is that the shame that Sebastian probably felt, the confusion, the taunting from CP, the rejection from his mom, and this was Sebastian's life. This is what Sebastian dealt with, Babs, and that's what's so so horrible, and it's like, again, if people cannot recognize this for what it is what it is. Look, everything else aside, people who say they care about Sebastian need to be standing up against this, need to be saying this is not okay. None of this is okay. And he never should have had to deal with any of this. I mean, unbelievable. And taunting is a good word for what CP did.
Or is only Fauci allowed to pull a Fauci?
Yeah, I don't.
Don't be pulling a Fauci.
Well, you know what's, I mean, he was pardoned. He was pardoned, and then he literally declared the fifth 111 times. I don't
Lisa
know.
asked, have you ever asked the neighbor to see the video?
Neighbor, when I asked to see it, Chris didn't show it to me, and the neighbor didn't even know who I was. So when I asked, the question got ignored, and Chris just, you know, he watched that video over and over and over again. And I'm like, I don't understand why you're watching it over and over and over again. I've watched it twice. And, you know, when law enforcement showed it to me, I watched it twice, and I was like, I pointed out a couple different things on that video and asked them about it, and they were like, oh, well, we hadn't even seen that. And it's like, well, that's why you're supposed to have more eyes on it.
Yeah, and how creepy is that Mr. Chris is sitting there watching it over and over and over again, like it's some freaking, like he's Monday morning quarterbacking, or trying to figure out what went wrong, more like he's trying to figure out what is being caught on camera, what exactly was caught. Enough is enough, Bo. It's so infuriating. And, good night, Miss Ann. I hope you feel better. And I'm so sorry with what you're going through right now. But try some churches too, Miss Ann, because they are they have food banks and stuff like that to help out. Because I know it's just so tough right now. Bab says Lady Freedom, and all Sebastian wanted was to live a normal life, to be a part of school life and feel accepted, but he was rejected and neglected. And I agree with that too. And the sad part is I really don't even think the kids at school were being mean to him like the Foot Clan was, Aunt Melissa over there messing with him on his birthday. I mean, I can't ever forget that either. What a horrible, wretched person does that, especially if you're an adult in that situation. It just ticks me off to no end. It's so wrong. It's just so wrong. Um, Detroit says my father-in-law worked for CPS Detroit, Ann Arbor, in California, and he said California was the worst when it came to helping and protecting children. He retired and became a freelance photographer. His heart couldn't take it, Detroit. He wanted to make a difference and help people and help children, and it's too hard for the good ones to stick around with that. The corruption is too much. I couldn't take it either. They might be able to do a loan. Oh, sorry. Thank you guys. And thank you guys so much for being so helpful with Miss Ann. I really appreciate that as well. We're all here for you, Miss Ann. You're not alone. But yeah, I mean, no, the good ones can't take it, Detroit, and they quit.
You have to have more eyes on it. You should have 4 or 5 people watching this video at one time, because you can't see everything that's going on in that video once.
Nope. You have to analyze it.
And I mean, it's like I've asked to see the lights video, and Sumner County told me they don't even have the lights video. That TBI has the lights video.
Wow.
Which I don't understand is how an investigating law enforcement agency doesn't have all of the evidence and information in one place. And they haven't answered that question yet either. Speaking of coffee, ladies, you go ahead and figure out what questions you guys are going to ask me. I'm going to go refill my coffee cup.
Okie doke.
And there he went. I mean,
Yeah.
Alrighty then.
Okay.
He's back. He's
I
back.
want coffee. All right. I want,
Everybody be quiet. He's back.
I want coffee and I want my son. All right.
okay, go get coffee.
There you go.
Yeah, go get your coffee.
Everybody, I was like, he's back. Everybody be quiet. As if he couldn't hear it later.
Oh my goodness.
Great questions, though, right? Smiley Jen. I mean, really great
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah, they really are. They're really good questions asked.
Yeah. Do y'all have the email that of the questions?
I don't have the email of the questions. I have a few questions here, but I don't have the email of what questions were asked.
Okay.
I
I
just
don't
got a
believe I do.
I just got a link and said, "Come on up."
Same.
Yeah.
What about you? What about
exactly.
you, Lady Freedom? Do you have the email?
I don't, but I do have a couple of questions. Just one Kiki had asked. I saw a couple in the chat. Tonight too. So
Yeah, they
Kelly
asked me.
East. Kelly East. What do we need to see? I mean, I'm asking you that right now in chat, so I don't understand. Let me know.
Yeah, y'all, and please ask, you know, your questions now. Now's the time to ask, and if he can answer them, he will.
Yeah.
yeah.
There is no age progression photo yet, Brenda.
Is that
Okay.
every 2 years? Do you guys know if that's? I heard something about it the 2 year mark, and I do remember them doing it for
Yeah.
summer around then.
Yeah. That's what
Yeah.
I heard as well. It's 2 years.
I just got a question somebody sent me. Thank you. I'll ask it.
So no complaints reported in December 23rd and January 2024. Are you talking about Narita? You must be talking about DCS complaints.
reports.
No complaints.
I can't respond on that.
Yeah, he can't respond.
Okay, I just got one. They never come in anybody's chat really that I see, but they want to know, can I ask you, when did CP leave to go get the camper? And then I might add on there, do you know how long he was gone for? Was you even there at that time?
I wasn't. It was that weekend.
Okay, so it was that weekend.
Oh, I see you talking Slack there, Lady Freedom. What am I slacking on?
I didn't get the email.
That's because I didn't send you one.
I didn't get the memo. I didn't think you did. I didn't think it was in the spam folder or anything.
You will keep looking, you'll find it.
It's somewhere in
Rosebud
there.
said, that's very interesting that TBI only has it. That tells me they are looking for something Sumner County don't have the technology to investigate, in my opinion.
Ooh,
Maybe
great.
so. Yeah.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
That's a great point. And, Sheriff Snuggle Struggle said there was no evidentiary value to, the lights video, but then here we are, the TBI has it.
Kiki was asking, can you ask him in my place who all was at the home when Sebastian went missing and he got there, like the morning, Monday morning, when you came off of work?
Pretty sure I've answered this question before.
You have.
Okay. Um, Are you finished? Or do you want to answer another one? Somebody's asking something else.
Sure.
Okay. They said you didn't answer before, so I don't know if you'll answer, but they said, can you say anything about Lori's arrival or departures from? They just want to know. They still want to know. They're still curious.
I can't. I mean, it's not my house. When she arrived and when she left, I don't know. Um, I did see a question in here that somebody was asking why Sebastian didn't have friends during the summer or after school. I will tell you right now that Sebastian had friends over here.
Good morning, Tam. And see, Sebastian did have friends at his dad's house. Now, he can't say why he didn't have friends over there, but I can think of a couple of reasons. I mean, if you have Chris Proudfoot saying that he hates his stepson and wants him to, die, I mean, then in that case, I wouldn't want my kids over there. If you don't even love your own kid, then, or your stepson, then I don't want my kids hanging around you. Know how. So, I mean, that's to answer people's questions. I think that's part of it. But let's hear what Seth has to say.
Sebastian had friends when we went to D&D. But as for friends from school, he went to school in Sumner County. So his friends down there would have been friends from school. That would have been friends going to, to his house there.
Did he ever, here have friends over to his house, or
he never had friends over here? As in, he never had friends come over here. I would take him to go to the park to go play with people, and he was really good about, like, I probably got 10 or 15 people in my phone that are parents that we met at the park. So I don't understand why he didn't have friends there,
right?
Except for he wasn't allowed to.
Right, and from what you observed and stuff like that, I mean, he seemed to get along well with kids and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, he was a kid. I mean,
Aww.
That's why. I mean, when we went to D&D, let's see, we'll count the adults, and then we'll count the children that were playing on the D&D. There was the DM, there was me, there was 3, 4, there was 5 adults, and then there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 children that were roughly around Sebastian's age.
Wow.
All right. When we played D&D, and I wasn't the only parent that showed up and let their kids play D&D. Most of the parents, there was 3 other parents that played the D&D campaigns that we played, and the other parents of the children, most of them were painting miniatures out in the other room.
Yeah.
Aww.
So he was around kids.
See, and this just pisses me off even more. It pisses me off even more because Chris and Katie coming out in the beginning saying that Sebastian wants friends, that he's asking for friends for Christmas. Well, he already had friends. So what's up with that crap? I mean, again, just to disparage Sebastian, it's just terrible. And it's ugly and ruthless and wretched. Chris Proudfoot is a brutal ass motherfucker, but you know what? He is doing this to a child. So I guess he's not that big and bad after all. But I mean, just ruthless to do this to Sebastian. Come out after he's missing, talking about he wants friends. He wants friends for Christmas. No, he probably wants friends while he's at your house because he knows what it's like to have friends at his dad's house. And he probably misses his friends that are at his dad's house And that's why he would like some friends while he's at your house. You sick, twisted son of a bitch. In my opinion.
To go play D&D, so he was socializing. When we played Magic, he was playing against other adults, other children. You know, I don't understand why he didn't have. I don't understand why he didn't have friends there.
Yeah.
I can understand that they didn't allow kids to come to their house unless it was family, I guess.
Right.
Some family.
That's sad.
Hey, my PTSD.
I mean, when you're doing things like, I don't know. I don't. So I wouldn't have let Sebastian have friends come over to my house because my house is thoroughly a mess. But if he had asked if somebody can come over, that would have been different. So, I mean, if he had asked me if somebody could have came over, yeah. Now we definitely went to other people's houses that had kids for him to go play with them there.
Somebody wants to know what's the next steps to find Sebastian.
I mean, every time I get a tip, that's going to trying to find Sebastian. I mean, it's keeping the awareness out, keeping the flyers out, it's keeping the public interested in the fact that there's missing kids, and it's keeping them. My son's missing, so to me, it's trying to keep everybody aware that Sebastian is still missing.
Is there anything you wish supporters or those who say they are supporters would stop doing?
Good question.
I don't know. I'd tell you this, stop being upset on who to work with. I mean, I am a thoroughly independent person, and I'm going to work with whoever I want to that I think may give me an edge up. And any type of technology, any type of, reach. But when I'm already working with the FBI, I'm already working with National Center of Missing and Exploited Children, Do I have posters or flyers? I have flyers. I have posters too.
All right. So thank you, my PTSD, and thank you so much for the jewels as well. Oh, I just saw that. Oh, thank you. And Rosebud says there are studies that abused kids very rarely have a lot of friends because the parents don't want others to find out what's going on in the home, in my opinion. And I agree with that too, Rosebud. That's a really good point. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It comes with the territory. It's very lonely. And, it's just like, a child that has, a parent that is an alcoholic or two, parents or whatever. It's like they're embarrassed, right? And there's a shame that follows a kid like that too. Nobody wants to get scolded or, have their ass busted in front of their friends. That's for sure. Why? So you can get bullied at school over it? I mean, come on. And kids, can be really cruel, I mean, but you don't think that the parents are supposed to be the cruel ones and they're the ones doing it, in my opinion.
But I'm not selling my posters. Those things are expensive. Each one of my posters were over $500.
They're beautiful posters.
Sure are.
You can't have them.
Seth thinks I want to steal his posters. I would though, because they're really awesome. They came out beautiful, And it's just good to have them. I just wish Sebastian was home. Hey, Seth. Seth has side-eyed me. Yeah, you guys see that? He side-eyed me. I'm gonna I'm gonna save the next half for tomorrow because we're kind of like halfway through it now. But Seth is over there side-eyeing us, saying nobody can have them posters. I'm just gonna leave it here so that way when I open my computer, we can go over it. I'd like to do a day show. I know I was doing so good with having the day shows and stuff for a while there, but I want to start again. So we might do this, a little bit tomorrow, finish this up. And then, because we have a lot to cover, we have a couple of other updates and other cases as well. And I want to make sure we can get these big bombshells, that Seth came out and talked about with us. He did a fantastic job, in my opinion, and so did everybody that sent in, the really good, legitimate questions. I was like, wow, guys, like really, really great job. And so I appreciate that so much. So, hey, CB Gamer, good to see you. Welcome in, guys. So, aw. Seth, hey, Claudia. Claudia says, Seth, do you have Sebastian's items from school? And Seth says, yes, I do. They offered them to Katie. She never went to get them. So they gave them to me. Oh my gosh, Seth, that just breaks my heart for Sebastian. Oh my goodness. Uh, Yes, Bab says, "Oh crap, don't even talk how mean kids can be to the neglected, abused kid. They're ruthless and we're targets for it." Yeah, I mean, it just look, I mean, any bit of a vulnerability is going to be exploited, unfortunately, and especially when kids are being raised by bullies themselves, right? I mean, look at the people on the YouTube streets. These are not, 20-year-olds wreaking havoc on these streets. These are not just 18-year-olds fresh able to come into adult YouTube chat forums, right? These are grown ass people that are disgusting. And honestly, I wouldn't want to be them. I'm just glad that we don't have that type of a community over here. Um, and it's sad because those kids are getting bullied themselves at home, then they're bullying other kids. They're taking it out on, I mean, they're just as bad. And it's just awful. I don't know. I my heart goes out to the kids that have to deal with this day in and day out like Sebastian did, because I know that there's more than just him that has had to deal with it. These kids that go to school every day and they're hiding behind such neglect, abuse, you name it, psychological, emotional, etc. So Seth is your FBI contact through Sumner County, and Seth says my FBI contact is from Nashville, but I don't know where he lives. I think it's in Florida. Yeah, I mean, I think that it's important for you to be in contact with them, and I'm just really glad that you have that person. Bab says, I'm so glad you were able to get Sebastian stuff from school. My heart breaks for you. And I'm here for you. That's sweet, Babs. Thank you. It's just so sad. It is so sad. I'm glad you got it too. And I think that it's absolutely awful that Katie didn't want any of that stuff. I mean, it's just so cold hearted, in my opinion. Um, Oh, Claudia says I had a group of girls who wrote me a letter and told me that I was too fat, ugly for school. Oh no! If they had been my mom, they would leave me too. Oh no! Aw, sweet Claudia. Hey, I'm so sorry that they said that to you. And you know, the thing is other kids could just be so mean. You know, and it's not fair. It is just not fair at all. And for Proudfoot to bring that up, you know, and I don't know. And again, to do that to Sebastian, him having to go to school, that's the place where he was telling what was going on. It just is all too much. It just, you know, this was one of the lives that just really broke my heart too, knowing that Sebastian was dealing with this. And there's just so many factors to consider. And that's why I kind of want to break it down as we go, because I know I kind of was late to breaking it down tonight. But we had so much to get into. And again, I just wanted to, make sure that I shout out all those good creators out there that are, doing the most to review Seth's live streams. Because again, you know, Seth may not be the one who holds the key like Katie is, but he also has a lot of good knowledge. And, as things are unfolding, there's more and more that's on the table to talk about that couldn't be talked about before because of this filing. And I'm just praying that this filing goes through and that justice is served for Sebastian Rogers. He never deserved to go through any of this. And I just want to continue to reiterate that and, have us all just keep pushing forward for him. Yeah, I don't know, guys. It's a lot. Um, and we're going to continue to unpack everything. Um, and just everybody that's going through a really tough time, also just know that we're praying for you here at the Dragon Tribe too, and that we're a safe place that you can come in and talk in the chat. And people that are really caring people. The ones that are not caring, there's a reason behind it, guys. And maybe we need to pray for those poor souls too. So I don't know, it's just one of those things. We'll never understand no friends at KP's home. I know, Janet. It's ridiculous, isn't it? It's utterly ridiculous. But yeah, it had to be a very hard environment for Sebastian to be in. Bab says, I relate to Sebastian and what he was enduring. That's why I'm a little hateful about his situation and feel so strongly about he never deserved this. No, he never did. And you're so right. Yeah. And I'm sorry, Babs. And I understand that too. It hits us, especially if we've dealt with similar situations. And again, Sebastian's case is just full of these horrible shortcomings by law enforcement and DCS, horrible shortcomings by his mother, Katie. I mean, again, I have to blame her just as much for letting it happen. And, I was reluctant to do that until this new information came out. And now I'm over it. It's just as bad in my opinion. There was a case a while back, and it was about a stepfather who was in the home, and the mother was abusing the little girl. And I believe he should have been charged too. So if I feel that way about him, because they're both adults, they're both in a position of trust, they're both in a position of authority, they're both old enough to know right from wrong. If one of them is allowing the abuse, I don't care if it's a biological parent or who it is. It's a parent in the household, a presumed parent who has the responsibility over the children. And if any abuse and neglect happens in that household, by God, they should both get matching bracelets. Yeah, handcuffs, in my opinion. So, and I'm never going to change that. Love me for it, hate me for it. It doesn't matter to me. It's all the same, because it's just unacceptable. And for any of us to minimize it, and we're just as bad as these people in the filings. It's not to be minimized to a priority 3. It is a red flag, high alert situation when you have a young man like Sebastian Rogers that has all of these things that he is dealing with, these big challenges, and then trauma on top of it. It is just, there's no words for it besides gross neglect, deliberate indifference, and really just utter disgusting behavior on people's parts that have the authority, again, the trust position and the power to change things, yet they continue to do the thing that they know is wrong. Hey, Kimberly Brummett, good to see you. It was so good to see you in Jen's live last night, too. Jen was pulling cards, and oh my goodness, did she get it spot on with all of them? So, um, I don't know. Oh, yeah, I could help you with that too, Bo, because I know, oh gosh, it's just like, and then people don't get bent out of shape. Look, there's some questions that Seth can't answer, but I just really thank you a lot, Seth, for doing that. And people who are going to get hateful about it, I mean, I don't know. Suck a pencil is what I can say. Suck a pencil. All right, guys. Well, I love you guys all so very, very much, and I will see you guys all. I'll do a live tomorrow afternoon. All right, guys. Have a great one, and I'll see you all next time.